Hey, welcome to the live. And if you're watching this on the replay, welcome to the replay. In this video, I am going to be doing a live stream where I'm essentially going to be painting a gift for a friend. So I've bought her a gift as well, but I thought it would be really nice to paint something for her. It's going to be florals. I kind of like looked through looked through her Instagram to try and figure out like what kind of thing she would like because I don't know what kind of art she likes. But I'm thinking like a blue kind of theme, like mixing gold and yellow and blue and maybe like hints of purple. And we'll see how it goes. What scared you, Miss Ebony? Welcome everyone. And then also I was saying on my Kofi and like my Discord that I don't know if you can tell, but like I have makeup on and like I'm all dressed up. So it honestly felt like a waste to to not do a stream or not do a video, do nothing, like just go to bed, like take all this off and go to bed. I don't think so. Oh, welcome. My bad. My bad, Miss Ebony. Hey, a watercolorist. Welcome. Good morning. Damn, what time is it where you're at? I'm glad you've made it. Have you changed your name, Humdrum? Um, so I had the music on at first. I had like piano music, but I don't know, it was meant to be relaxing, but the pace was so fast that it was doing the opposite of that. It was not relaxing me at all. So I turned it off. But I'm happy to turn it on if you guys would like something. 5:10 a.m. Why are you awake? Oh my goodness. This is, let me see. So you can see both of us. Ah, makes sense. What were you before? It's gonna bug me otherwise. Humdrum. And let's see. News layout. Can you imagine if I decided to do a stream like this? If I'm like, oh, I look so good, I'm gonna make myself big and then make my art tiny and far in the distance. Ah, I see. It's quite early. Super, super early. I'm thinking portrait. I don't usually do it landscape, but I'm thinking it would be nice to use portrait. And I've also got the gold by Etcher, so I'm going to be adding some of that as well. But first, I'm in two minds as to whether to do the background first or whether I should do the florals first because I'm going to be doing some yellows. So maybe I'll start with that. Hey, Dr. Bennett. Thank you so much for joining and thank you for your message. Like honestly, you made my night. When I saw that, I was like, oh, you're so kind, so sweet. But yeah, I'm glad that you're back. Hey, Colleen, welcome. So I'm going to be doing a painting for a friend. It's odd because I haven't actually told most of my friends that I paint. Yeah, the vast majority do not know I paint or create any form of art. But I kind of thought that it would be nice because we'd talked about art already, like a little bit, and she was thinking about getting into painting and just having like, a positive outlet, a relaxing outlet. So I bought her some art supplies. And as well as that, I thought it would be nice to kind of complement it with one of my paintings. So looking at her outfits and her like Instagram and everything else, I can see like lots of blue. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she'd like a blue painting. So that's what I'm going off of. Um, she showed me the kind of art that she liked in the past, to be fair, but it's not the kind of art I would create or the kind of art I'd like to create. But what are you guys doing this I want to, if it's 5:10 a.m. where you are a watercolorist, does that mean where are you? Like in the world? You're ahead. Hey, Dark Roast. Uh, And add some water just to make the transitions a little bit more subtle. And then we'll see. I can always go back and add more color. I used phthalo blue and a tiny bit of ultramarine blue to make this background. I also like, one of the great things about doing the live streams is that I can also see what's on the camera, because sometimes you just get a bit of a better view of what you should change or add. I'm going to add a little bit of ocean blue. I'll probably add some more once this layer is dry. Because it is drying. That's the thing. I told my sister, oh yeah, I might go live because, oh, you can't even see me properly. Hold on. Yeah, I told my sister I might go live. And she was like, what? How could you go live so late? Like, who's going to be awake? And I was like, oh, don't worry. Most people are in the US. I must be really annoying for people in the UK because, like, if they were to ever look for my streams, it's always at ridiculous times, or usually at ridiculous times, not always. But a lot of the time. But for US people and people in Canada, it's a great time, no? I'm just catching up on the comments as well. 9 p.m. North Mississippi. Oh, you're doing laundry. I hate doing laundry. I'm so bad at that. I should be doing laundry now, but obviously, if I did that, you wouldn't hear me. Thank you, Astroglio. Honestly, yeah, I was gassed. I'm not even going to lie. I was like, oh my gosh, I look so great. Like, wouldn't it be such a shame to just go to bed? The one time that I actually have makeup on, I don't go live, I don't make a video, I just like go to sleep. Exactly, Dark Rose. So she was like, oh, isn't like, who will be awake at this time? And I was like, oh, everyone, most people. And then if not, people can catch it on the replay as well. And I'm not working tomorrow, so by tomorrow I mean later today, so it's all right. My sleeping pattern's already a mess. Near Seattle. Every time I think of Seattle, I think of Grey's Anatomy, because they're also based in Seattle, or at least the fake hospital is based in Seattle. I don't know where they actually record the series. Is anyone else painting as well? Oh, thank you. Which colors? So this tends to be primarily quinacridone gold plus alizarin crimson in here. It's always like a mixture of those two. This one tends to be my greens, which is the Hooker's green plus or minus Payne's gray. This one, a lot of the time, is permanent alizarin crimson with Payne's gray or mineral violet, and then this one is like all my blues. So the deep sea, this is like my Roman Schmall palette. The deep sea, or just the sea blue, ocean sea blue, the transparent turquoise, and the cobalt teal, plus or minus phthalo blue and ultramarine blue. So it's always a mixture of those. Thank you, Miss Ebony. I went out and I wore this really nice dress. I'm not even gonna like, yeah, but it felt like a bit too much to wear it to a live stream. And also, it's like, like, it's not bad in terms of not being practical, but you know how a lot of dresses look great, but are not 100% like, it's not that comfortable, basically. But maybe one day I'll wear like an Ashrabi dress to a live stream. I'm wondering if I should do slightly different florals. We'll see. I was thinking of 4 because she's turning 40 and she has 2 kids and her husband, and I thought it'd be cute to have 4 primary florals. But now I'm like, oh, I haven't left myself enough space. Is that drying? We'll see. Ooh, I missed you. Hey, Damara. Just wear a nice top and sweatpants. We'll never know. Exactly. I'm pretty much wearing what is this? Just a jumper, like a jumper dress and a cardigan. Just nice and comfy. Hey, Paint and Hiding. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, messy clothes specific. Thankfully, I think because I tend to do like the majority of the art I make is with watercolor, I don't tend to like damage any of my clothes much or at all. If I was painting with acrylic now, then that would probably be a completely different story. Uh, yeah, I am indeed back from my event. I've been going out, I want to say quite a lot because it feels like quite a lot for me, but actually it's like what, twice this year, so twice in 1 month. But yeah, because of my sister, she encourages me to go out. So we went out to a party and we had a really good time and then came home. It's currently 3 a.m. But yeah, exactly. I just find it a lot in general, to be fair. I'm just not like a party person. Like I don't, yeah, am I? No, I'm not a party person. I guess it's not that I mind it. When I go there, I have a good time and stuff, but I don't drink alcohol. I'm like, you know, like I don't know. All I need is, and then a lot of things. What I found, especially like when I went to uni, is like I normally go to parties for food and good music. So, and I found that as you get older, it's less and less food. Or for me, when I've gone out to parties, a lot of the time is less and less food and more like alcohol and some music. So then I'm like, well, if I'm at home, I can have Coke, which is what I want to drink, for a lot cheaper, and I can listen to the music that I want to listen to. So why should I go out? Um, but no, I do have fun. Like I did have a really good time. And I will make like a bit more of an effort. I also have a party next week. I'm like, oh my gosh, going out so much. This is insane. But that's it's this friend who I'm making this piece for. It's her birthday party next week, which is why I'm going out again. So we'll do that, and then after that, and then it's a friend's bridal shower that same weekend, and then after that, I think I'm working the following weekend. But then after that, like everything starts to settle down again, basically. No more parties. Thank you so much, Colleen. Why go out when I could be sleeping is exactly my mindset. I could just be home, relaxing, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. I'm going to blow dry this. Can you still hear me when I'm blow drying? Oh, you can hear me. Perfect. I didn't realize all this time. I was like, oh, I have to stay silent. But yeah, no, I just found like, especially when I started like in uni parties, they didn't have food. If I go to like a proper Nigerian party, they will have food. And to be fair, this place did, because we got there early enough that I just like ate plenty. But yeah, I'm just not a party person. Not much of a party person, rather. Uh, I'm seeing the chat as well. Yeah, when I was in, what was I? A couple of years ago, I had flatmates, and one of my flatmates used to have like regular game nights, and eventually we also got involved in that, and that was a lot of fun. Um, I think my thing is I would just rather people come here. Like I just rather not leave my house, and if that means that they come here and hang out, then that's better for me. My first year as a doctor, I lived super, 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 super close to work. So it just meant that a lot of the time after work, my friends and, like colleagues and stuff would just come hang out on my place and then leave. And I loved that. That made my social life so much easier. But now that everybody's living all over the place, it's a lot harder. Oh, bye, watercolorist. Thank you for joining. Enjoy work. Mm. Yeah, exactly. That's how I kind of got like they'd play D&D. I never got into that because I think that's a little bit more involved and like, goes on. You guys were telling me this last time, isn't it? That it can go on for years or months. I don't know, like a long, long time. So we didn't do that, but then other games I'd get involved in, and that was quite a lot of fun. Hey, creative phenomenon, welcome. I've been what it's so nice that so many of you are here. Yeah, year two of my campaign. Like I can't believe that a game could go on for so long. 2 years. 2 years in count and counting. No, I don't have that kind of patience. Like I don't even paint with oils for that same reason. I think when I look at the art that's created with oil paints, a lot of the time I'm like, wow, that's so beautiful. Look at that blending, like all that is so stunning. And then the idea of waiting weeks, because my sister does oil painting as well, weeks for things to dry to then, and then like to cure, sorry, not even dry, to then paint. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Even watercolor, it's a it's a bit of a stretch were it not for this heat gun. And even then, I'm not the most patient of painters. Mm, your DM is the creator. Oh yeah, you can share their watercolor paints. Is this the same dagger brush? You uh my bad. It is actually, yeah, it is the dagger brush. So I should actually say this. Paint and Hiding was kind enough to send me the brushes. I think I'm trying to remember if I did. I'm sure I did a live stream where I was painting with them and I told you guys that. But yeah, so these are the same brushes from that live stream. And this is the video that I am currently editing that I will hopefully potentially have up by tomorrow if I get my life together and finish editing it and, you know, handle the 6 hours that it will take to save and to upload. But if not, then it will be there on Monday. Just painting with these paint brushes, and I just keep going back to them over and over because I do find them so much fun to use and different. And yeah, they they were heavily stained because I think the first I used phthalo blue, not even now, but like before I was using phthalo blue with them without even thinking about it, and it got stained and we never went back. uh oh, they're all in the UK. Yeah, loads of people play D&D here. No, it's still going. Still going. Like this flatmate I think I was living with maybe like how many years ago now? 3 years ago. And they were very much into it. Very, very serious. Just adding lighter some cobalt teal to get some lighter glazes. And I'm trying to be like, I've done some different kind of art. I don't know if you saw it. It's one of my, is it real shorts? One of the short videos on Instagram where I had my art looking a lot edgier. I don't think I'll do that for this piece, but we'll see. Thank you. Thanks, V. But yeah, I have loved the paints and I keep going back to them over and over just because I find them so cool and intriguing to paint with. Let's do another layer on these flowers, give them a little bit more interest. You can see this empty pan is Quinacridone and Gold Hue by Roman Schmull, which I have almost finished, which seems wild. I think this will be the first pan I've ever like finished in my whole life. Yeah, no, I'm definitely enjoying using them. I keep going back to them just because I want to master them. I think it's like, you know, when you try something and you don't like fully get it, so you know, or you're trying a new medium and it doesn't come like second nature, so you're not like completely, you're not bored because you are, it's not working as you would expect it, but at the same time it's not hit that level of frustration like, oh, I don't want to use this ever again because it sucks. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like a sweet spot where I'm like, oh, it works differently to everything I've used. I definitely think that I still have some room for improvement and I want to learn more, but not like, oh, everything I'm creating with it is trash and I never want to see these brushes again. So it's like hit a sweet spot where I keep painting with them. Yes, this is the plastic porcelain palette that I got. These two. And you know what? I went back because I was like, they definitely said it was porcelain palette. But I went back and obviously, you know how sometimes the listings disappear from AliExpress, reasons unknown. So that listing disappeared, but I've started seeing like porcelain, it's like porcelain like palettes that look similar. So I think basically it's like meant to be an imitation of porcelain. And it's like not bad. It hasn't stained. I had phthalo blue on this before I washed it. They're just lighter. And I was like, oh, I don't mind. I just don't think they should say it's porcelain when it's not. Oh, thank you so much, Colleen. Enjoy work, V. And thanks again for the brushes. Don't know why my voice broke. I'm sorry. Astroglio was saying that I should actually become their ambassador because because of how much I've talked about them and um yeah, how much people have bought them. And the thing is, one, yeah, I should. I don't even think they have ambassadors, but I'm like, you know what? At this point, is that not basically my role? But I think I just loved them because I loved the quality, but also I loved the price. Although the price has started to go up, a lot of things on Jackson's, the prices have increased, which made me sad. um, the Winsor and Newton gouache that was £4.40 before has now gone up to £5. A lot of the Roman Schmull palettes have gone up as well, although they are currently on sale, like 15% off. So I keep looking like, oh, do I need more pans? Technically, realistically, I don't need more because I have their full set. But I'm like, oh, should I should I get more? Yeah, my bad, guys. But this is the thing, right? Once you get them and you use them for yourself, I may be the reason why you get it initially, but they are the reason that you stick with them. You see, because they're actually good. Yeah, exactly. They're still cheaper than Schminke, than A Gallo, probably also than like Winsor and Newton Professional, because especially if you get the full pans, like they're still definitely more affordable. But yeah, I just really liked them. And I think part of the reason that I really liked them was initially because the price was so reasonable that I could experiment with them. And then when I started experimenting with them, I started enjoying watercolor even more. And I didn't feel like I was going broke. And it was a good quality. Because I told you that the first time I started painting with watercolors, I was using paints that were trash. That for reasons unknown, and this is the thing that still confuses me. On Amazon, it had like, I don't know, 1,000 reviews and it came up to, 4.5 or something, 4.5 stars or something. And then when I bought it, it was just so chalky and so, just poor quality. But I was a beginner, so I didn't know. I didn't know what was wrong. Does that make sense? Like I knew that I wasn't enjoying it as much. And as a result, I was doing a lot more drawing, but I didn't know why. And it was actually because the paints were trash. So yeah, so to find like good affordable watercolor paints, I just felt like I had to tell everyone. and, and obviously I didn't quite appreciate that my channel would grow and that so many people would learn about them. But yeah. I'm looking through your comments. Yeah, they are gorgeous. They're really nice. They're really, really nice. And even like the granulating colors and everything. And honestly, if you haven't seen the interview that Jackson's did with Roma Schmall, you should watch it. Like, I loved the company before. Oh, what am I looking for? I loved the company before, obviously. Here it is, my permanent Leather Crimson. Almost ran out of that as well. But then when I watched it, I just thought they were even like, I fell in love with them even more because it's just a small company. The Roma Schmall was very humble, and they just have such nice, and caring attention to detail. They just really seem to care about artists. Um, even things like the swatches, like every bit of paint being wrapped in hand painted swatches. Like to me, that's crazy. What other company like? Do you know what I mean? It's just little nice touches. Like it feels buying small, and you are technically buying small, even though they're on Jackson's, because it's like such a small team. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, no, I'd definitely be up for being their ambassador. Might even get in touch and be like, "Hey, have you thought about this?" Because it's it's essentially what I'm doing, but it makes it a little bit more official. Um, yeah, you don't know what you don't know. No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, so that was why. And then I think after I bought that set, I don't know why I didn't just give up painting, but thankfully I didn't. Instead I got Winsor and Newton. No, did I? What am I saying? I got the Van Gogh set because I was going on holiday. Was that why I got it? I can't remember if that was why I got it, but I remember I took it with me on holiday, and that was one of the first times I used it. And the difference, wild, absolutely wild. And that's how I realized that it wasn't me, because the difference in the quality of the paintings far surpassed the difference in my skill. Does that make sense? Like the jump wasn't like, oh my gosh, I've been practicing day and night and now finally my paintings looked great. It was like, oh, they don't look chalky anymore. And when they don't look chalky, they actually look decent. So I think that's why I would say that, especially for beginners, it's worth balancing where you get. I think it's better to get one of those like urban sketching kits, or one of those small studio kits like travel palettes that come with 12 colors but are from like reputable brands. I think it's better to do that, or to buy a few colors from like a really good brand, than to buy like the massive sets that have loads and loads and loads of colors, but then they dry chalky and they just degrade your self-esteem as you paint and question why you bothered to pick up a brush anyway. No, 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 I didn't name the first set because I feel bad in it in case people love it or, you know, I guess somebody worked hard to create it. Who am I to put it down just because I hate it? But it wasn't one of these like it wasn't a, you know, a professional brand. It's not like, you know, Daniel Smith, or it's not one of the known ones, or Schminke or anything like that. It's just a brand that I saw on Amazon. But it had like over 1,000 reviews. But now I'm like, are those reviews fake? Are those reviews from children who don't know better? Like, who was it? Who was it? Um, mm, yeah, no, that also took me a while, and I'm still kind of like, uh, yeah. It took me a while. No, like as in I had been told and I knew that in theory, you know, 100% cotton watercolor paper will give you better results, especially depending on like if you like layering a lot, if you like blending a lot, you get more work time, you'll be able to do different techniques. I knew all that, but I also knew that there was no point me falling in love with 100% watercolor 100% cotton paper if I could not afford it. um, so I was like, well, I'm going to keep painting with cellulose until I can afford otherwise. And now obviously I can afford both. Um, and and astroglio. Because I basically did some swatches on cellulose paper, and it hurt astroglio to her core. So much so that she then bought 100% watercolor paper, or essentially paid for 100% cotton watercolor paper, so that the official Roman Schmall swatches that I will do will actually be on 100% cotton watercolor paper, so I can show off their true beauty. Because I was thinking about that, but then I was like, "Ah, using such good paper for swatches. Can I do it? Can I do it?" And I was and ahhing, and then she was like, "Yeah, no, do it. I absolutely do it." So I'm curious, what about you guys? Do you use primarily 100% cotton watercolor paper? Do you use cellulose? Like, I still use cellulose. I think it definitely still has a place. Otherwise, I just wouldn't be able to paint enough. Like, if I only use cotton, then at some point I would run out of paper, basically. Um, so, oh, let me catch up. I bought Core as my first. Oh, Core are really, really nice. And not only that, they have like such personality. When I was using them, I was like, why is my watercolor running across the page? Like, what is happening? Why is it moving? And again, because I didn't know that they were known for doing that, um, I was like surprised and I was confused. And I was like, is it me? Is it like, am I imagining it? But it feels like this paint is running across the page. And I don't know why. And it's nothing I have done. And then I found out, oh yeah, they're made with like aquaphor, which is different to what do we normally use? Gum arabic, and thus it moves across the paper. See, I feel like this is an experience everyone goes on, because if you go on Amazon and you search for watercolor, how did I get? Can you see my arm? How did that even happen? Anyway, if you yeah, were to go on Amazon and literally search like, you know, watercolor paint set or artist set, then they bring up all these like unknown brands. You know, they won't even show you like an affordable Cotman set, um or you know, like a Daniel Smith set or anything. They won't show you the expensive stuff, they won't show you the student grade stuff. They'll just start showing you other brands that come in really pretty tins but don't have nice paints in them. I don't know why they do that. So unless, which is a shame, because I feel like unless you're a unless when you're a beginner you take the time to watch YouTube videos, which you may not necessarily do, that literally advise you on which paints to buy, or you know some brands already, you would end up buying those brands because you would end up seeing them recommended, and it was also recommended by Amazon. You'd end up seeing them recommended by Amazon, 1,000 plus positive reviews, and that's it. So unless you go there and literally type in Windsor and Newton, I find, especially if I'm buying in the UK, that what I instead get recommended is trash. Ooh, you fancy, huh? Rembrandt. Yeah, no, that was a good shout. You lucked out. You definitely lucked out on that, because I think when you start with good quality, it just makes life a bit easier. And this is the thing, because I often thought, okay, if it's good quality and it's, professional, then it's also going to be super expensive. But it doesn't have to be, if you can resist the urge of buying like loads of paints. Does that make sense? If you can be as satisfied buying a set of 6 paints as you could be buying a set of 48, which is hard when you're beginning, because you're like, oh, I don't know how to mix colors, and why would I get, just 6 paints when I could get, oh, this is where I'm getting it from. Why would I just get 6 paints when I could get 48 paints and then also have them in a tin? But if you could resist that and actually get the good quality 6 paints and create with that, I think it'd make such a just a more positive experience, in my humble opinion, and then take it from there. Yeah, no, this is the thing. I was saying, hey, Ellen, I was saying I don't even know how I ended up like continuing to paint, because it was very discouraging. I'm not going to lie, to keep trying over and over and over to like paint. And it's not, I guess it's, I don't know, I guess it's because I was a beginner, I kind of told myself to be patient. Like I definitely thought it was me. Did not think it was the paints. But yeah, my very first YouTube video is actually um it's a sketchbook tour. So if you look on that sketchbook tour, then you can see the art that I created initially with those paints, and you can see how my art like drastically changed when I improved. And that was when I was using trash paper, and and still, but yeah, the other lesson is like, yeah, use better quality paper. But that's hard. Like even now I'm like, ah, paper costs so much. Why? But it does make a bigger difference, I find. Don't know why I've made these leaves so thick, but we'll work with it. Daniel Smith. I really enjoyed Daniel Smith. I don't know how, I can't remember how I got into them. But I do like them. I do really, really like them. In fact, these colors here of Daniel Smith, the quinacridone gold, sap green, and undersea green. And I put that here because I was running out of Quin Gold by Romish Moore. I was like, I don't know how much is left or if it will finish in the stream. I have not tried the Paul Rubens glitter paper. Has anyone else tried? I don't tend to like things that glitter that much, which is funny because I'm about to put gold on this painting. But usually, for the most part, I don't know. From the videos that I've seen, people said that it's quite subtle, which I think is quite nice. So at least it wouldn't like overpower a painting, is my impression. But I haven't gone out of my way to get the glitter paper. I'm curious if anyone else has used it and what they think of it, because I think quite a few people do like it. I've seen on, whose channel have I seen it on? Yeah, I remember. She's like, why did you do it? It's like, I can't. So this, I'm not gonna lie, moving forward, it's probably the Romish small swatches will probably be like a one-off in terms of 100% cotton watercolor paper, and it's just so that Astroglio can sleep at night. But after that, it's going to be cellulose, because I can't. I'll have to reserve the 100% cotton watercolor paper for like creating art, I think. I will try that. Creative P has some and likes it. I wish. I wish. Travel sets, Windsor and Newton. Then I jumped. Yeah. See, I had the 12 set, and then I jumped onto the 45 pound set like you have as well. This is the Etcher watercolors, by the way, the golden set. And I, just in case anyone was wondering, and I've linked everything down below for you. So if you want to use it, feel free. And then after that, I don't know how I then spiraled into all the art supplies that I have now. I was genuinely contemplating starting a no buy because I was like, it is. I'm just pre-wetting them to make my life a little bit easier. Yes, I was contemplating doing a no buy because I bought even more stuff. Like I have maybe 3 hauls that I haven't shown you guys. Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe I should stop. And it's just like, you know, a hard day at work. And I was like, oh, I'm going to treat myself. And then another hard day. Oh, I'm going to treat myself. And then another hard day. And I'm like, okay, no, I can't afford to to keep cheering myself up with art supplies. So gonna have to find a more positive outlet. Use both. Yeah, I think most people use both. I have both. I do like the Etcher quite a lot, actually. That is such an excellent description. Yeah, no. I'm just reading through your comments. Sorry. I don't want to miss on all the chat. Hey, Chloe. Welcome. Te amo. Hey. Yeah, I know. It's been so long since I've seen you. Welcome. I can't believe how quickly the channel has grown. Well, I guess quickly is relative, right? Depends on, but for me, it feels quick. Welcome. Sometimes off brands. Yeah, no, that's the thing, which is unfortunate in terms of like brands changing their quality. Kind of makes me paranoid. Like Lindsay the Frugal Crafter mentioned that she was like, oh, one of the bad things about, or one of the challenges about doing reviews is that you do a review about a company and what they're using and it's really good, and then they change manufacturers for whatever reason. Maybe they're getting bigger or their manufacturer has changed or whatever, and then the quality goes down, but your review lives on. I don't know why I keep saying thick like that, but to me, that's what it sounds like, That's how it should be said correctly. Thick. Like your voice needs to go deeper when you say it. Yeah, no, I've literally got to the point I can't afford retail therapy anymore, so it has to stop. Has to stop. Thank you so much, Stiamo. Hey, Spooky Cats, welcome. Thank you so much. And hey, Derwood. Oh my gosh, there's so many people here. I love it. Thank you so much for joining, Creative. Have a lovely day. But yeah, it's let's add some gold, make it nice and fancy. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed using 100% cotton watercolor paper. I definitely have. And this is Bao Hong, again, 100% cotton watercolor paper. I basically bought quite a lot of watercolor paper. I bought them I bought the Bao Hong in like blocks, so it's glued on all 4 sides, and that I got from AliExpress because it's still not back on Jackson's. I'm not even sure if it will ever come back, which is sad, and you can't buy it on Amazon anymore. like they've made the price so ridiculous that I think it's to deter people from buying it. It's something like something like £80 for one block, which makes zero sense. Like a block this size or even smaller. So I think it's almost like there so that they can keep the listing alive, but not actually have people buy it. And then um, so I bought these blocks, and then I bought um, the Saunders is it a block sheets as per Astroglio's request. And what else did I get? And then I have one big sheet of Fabriano. And then I have 3 blocks of arches. And I think that's pretty much like, I'm gonna have to use those, finish those before I move on so that the sizing doesn't go. But basically, it was me like investing in getting 100% cotton watercolor paper while I was doing this retail therapy kind of nonsense. So that when I can't do that anymore, hey, I at least have some paper to keep me going for a little while. That was the rationale, the thinking behind it. Because otherwise, I much prefer, to buy um like I get a lot more excited by paints than I do by paper. I also get excited by sketchbooks, but there's not that many sketchbooks that have 100% cotton watercolor paper, apart from Etcher and Heinmühle. Anyone know any others? Oh, Koval. I haven't bought any, but they also have 100% cotton watercolor paper, and then obviously Etsy and stuff. But if I were to buy a sketchbook for £60, I'm not using that paper for a long time. And that's not what, I'm just working, like I'm just about getting out of that habit of like it's too precious for me to use. Like you can see I'm using the Remish Small, I'm using 100% cotton watercolor paper, I'm using like the golden watercolors by Etcher that, I don't want to run out. So I'm trying to get out of that habit of thinking art supplies are too precious for me to use. And I feel like if I start getting wild and buying art supplies that are a lot more expensive, then I'll get into that habit again. So let me just control myself. Oh, thank you so much, Chloe. I like your name. Yeah, can't afford it, running out of space. Literally me. I literally called my mum and I was like, look, was it yesterday? And I was like, I'm thinking about doing a no buy, and I'll probably need like an accountability partner. So I was gonna ask my sister, um, because I was like, oh, really and truly, if she were to say yes, you can buy like a low buy. Let me be realistic, right? Um, and I was like, oh, if she were to say no, she's like quite hard in terms of like if she says yes, then it's a legit buy. If she says no, then I'd have to let it go. And she's like, no, she's not doing it. And I was like, why? And she's like, oh, because it will be every day we'll have this conversation where you'll call me and be like, oh, I want to get this supply. And I'll say no. And you'll say, but why? That, it's for YouTube or it's for this or it's for that. And I'll still say no. And you'll say, but why? And you'll just keep trying to justify it, which is true. It is probably what would happen. So I couldn't quite argue with her. Oh yes, good shout. Strathmore 500. That they are also 100% cotton watercolor paper. I'm literally slowly every day trying to break out of the mindset of it's too expensive, I can't use it. It's a daily process. One thing that's helped with the 100% cotton watercolor paper is one, that when I tried it, I really enjoyed it, and two, being told that the sizing is going to expire. Yeah, like actually ultimately wasting it. Like that is a bigger waste than creating art that I hate on it, I think. Uh, mm, hey Delbert. So the one that I'm using is the I can't believe, you know how I was talking about, oh, I do watercolor painting so I don't get any mess on me and I'm nice and neat. Look at my entire arm covered in paint. Like, what rubbish is that? um, but I tend to use the everyday sketchbook. I haven't used the perfect sketchbook yet, which I have and I'm eager to use. Um, and the everyday sketchbook has, I was gonna say thick in a funny way again, has thicker paper. um, and like my dream sketchbook to try would be their perfect sketchbook signature series. Like, when I get that sketchbook, prepare to be sick of me. It'll be in like, well, when I finally like work up the nerve to use that sketchbook, it would be everywhere. I think I would use it for like florals, something that I'm like happy and comfortable and enjoy using, so that at least when I look back on it, it will just bring back memories of joyful painting. Um, it wouldn't be the book that I would start doing experiments on, but that's the kind of book that I can, like the Etcher Everyday Sketchbook, on the other hand, I feel like I can do experiments in there because it's just more affordable. The painting I created in there, book, exactly, Dark Roast. Good night, Tamara. Thank you for joining. The painting I created in that Everyday Sketchbook is abysmal. Like, whew, I hate it. I hate it so much. But I've told myself I'm going to leave it in there because at some point I will do a sketchbook tour, and I don't want to give this impression that everything is always perfect and always easy to create. And also I want to show, like, I want to see progress. You know what I mean? Like, if you get rid of everything that isn't 100%, that you're not 100% in love with, then when you look back, you won't be able to see how much you've grown. So I've left this monstrosity in the sketchbook. I haven't died and the world hasn't ended and everything is okay. So, I need to stop being so precious about my sketchbooks. Um, thank you so much, Tiamo. It's gonna be a gift for a friend. I don't know if it's finished. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. As in, like, I like it. I just don't know. I'm enjoy. When you're enjoying a painting so much, so you just want to keep going. That's literally how I feel right now. Mixed media. I tend to work in portrait. I keep buying their portrait sketchbooks. Watered down craft acrylics. Yeah, no, I love the Romishmore. And they're doing a sale right now. Not that anyone should buy if they don't need to buy, but if you were going to buy, this is a good time to buy. I had someone send me a message or write a comment or something to that effect, basically saying like, telling me to stop sharing sales on my community tab. That was the general gist of it. Like, yeah. And I politely said no, I'm not going to stop. It's not going to happen. But you're welcome to not look at my community page if you don't want to see things like that. If you're doing a no buy or whatever, and you just find it too difficult to look at my page and see sales. Because personally, if there's a good sale, I would rather know. I'm grown enough to know like whether I want to buy something or not. But it would like, yeah, I don't like, for example, looking and finding out that I've just missed a sale on something that I wanted to get, or I trust not everybody is like me and is watching Jackson, like scrolling through Jackson's every day, like what do you call it? Window shopping, online window shopping. So if you're not doing that, how will you know if there's good sales? So I was like, no, I'm not going to stop. I appreciate your point, and consumerism, blah blah blah. Get it, all that good stuff. But for some, they want to know when there's a good time to buy and when there's a good time to avoid. Honestly, at least the ghost cat hasn't like dropped everything behind me. This is, we're off to a good start. It's the only way to save pick. I agree. I haven't tried. So the reason that I got the Fabriano initially is because it is cheaper than the Saunders 100% cotton watercolor paper. So it's like it's cheaper than Arches, cheaper than Saunders, and I think the only one that it was a similar price to was oh no, it's even cheaper than the Jacksons one. So I was like, ah, everyone keeps talking about this being good. Like I've seen it on quite a few people use it, and it's actually the cheapest. So I bought some just to, be able to make up my own mind on. I'm just adding some gold using dry brush technique to just add a little bit more texture. Um, yeah, so that's why I bought it because I was like, oh, it's got a good reputation and it's cheaper than everything else. So let me buy it and see it. And if I fall in love with it, fantastic. The cheapest one out of all of them. Apart from like if Bao Hong was there, I would have got Bao Hong because I do like it. And I don't want to have to buy from AliExpress all the time. Not to say that I've had any issues, but it never really feels 100% comfortable for me buying from there. Like the buyers appear and disappear, then there's like custom charges, then there's like conversion charges. So I never fully know what I'm going to get charged. I never fully know when it's going to arrive. I never have any tracking. The whole thing is just an uncomfortable experience. It arrives, like everything has arrived thus far, thank God, but still, I'd rather just buy it from Jackson's or like locally if I could. Hmm, that is true. That is very, very true. And I think that's the mindset that's helping me paint more um with whatever supplies I'm using. Although yeah, the monstrosity I created was actually like when I looked at it, I was like, this was actually, when I kind of felt like I should stop because it's a waste of paint. Like I'm actually wasting paint trying to save this, and it's just not going to get any better. And I looked back on it yesterday, and I actually didn't hate it as much as I hated it the first time. And don't think I'm ever going to love it, but I did have a bit more of a positive outlook on like, there are lessons to be learned there. There are positives there, so it's not like all terrible. Mm, yeah, no, no. I was basically like, look, I appreciate your point. Thank you for sharing, but no, I'm not going to stop. If this is going to be an issue, I understand if you unsubscribe. And yeah, I was like, for some people, this is like, I don't get it. Like, for example, Skillshare is now having a 40% sale, right? We don't all have the same budgets. We don't all have, so perhaps you would want to know that now it's a great time to buy from there because they're having a 40% sale if you wanted to buy from there. Do you know what I mean? But to assume like, oh no, nobody wants to know about the sales, stop it. I think the thing that kind of upset me about that comment wasn't like the stop doing, stop sharing the sales. It was they also added something along the lines of, I know that you make money from this, but almost like I was pimping myself out, like, oh, like I was doing it for the money. And I was like, um, okay. Uh I was polite. I was polite, but I was annoyed. I'm not going to lie. I was very annoyed by that comment. Um, and I think perhaps my reply indicated that I was annoyed by the comment as much as I was trying to like be PC about it because they then deleted it. Oh, that's good. I like her videos. I'm doing a low buy and look at sales and bookmark stuff and leave. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've like. I think that's what I need to start doing. One thing is setting a budget so that I like, irrespective, like I don't care, like irrespective of how the budget is. I think I just need to set a budget so that at least I can have some level of control over it, and then like I'll continue to create my wish list and see. That's what I've like. My Jackson's basket currently has 7 items in it, but I'm like, I'm not going to buy for a little while and then I'll reassess. You can't figure out how big A4 A5. Why am I echoing? One second. Hello? Unclear what happened there. My bad. I like working on A5 size. I do have some sketchbooks. So this is like A5. You said you like landscape, right? So this is A5 landscape size. Can you see it against my hand or a ruler? And then it opens up to this is let me see. Quite quite big. A6 is half this size. A4 is twice this size. I don't have anything that is A4 and easy to grab at the moment. But maybe when I grab myself a drink, I'll grab. Where are my sketchbooks? Hold on, I might do. But I like A5. A5 is my go-to size, to be fair. Although this year I said I was going to try it and use bigger. This is also A5, but it's in landscape format, so it opens up. Sorry, it's in portrait format, so it opens up like that. I just find it easier for. Obviously, it depends what you're creating, but I just find it easier for like. I find it takes less space, right? It takes less vertical, less horizontal space, so it's just easier, and I like the format. I'm just trying to see if I have any A6 books in here, but I think they're all on my bookshelf, so I'll have to get them in a second. I'll get them when I go and get myself a drink. Yeah, but I like it. It's not like Dark Roast is saying, it's not intimidating. It's a good size. You can still create lots of art, but then some people really like a lot of space, and that's also equally good. So, oh, but they don't have A. Do they? They don't have A4. They have B5, and their B5 is like an in between A4 and A5. So their B5 is actually quite nice. I know that was not that helpful. My bad. Often house the. Where is the community tab? My community tab is so if you were to go on my channel, it will automatically take you to like my homepage, and then on one side it says videos, lives, shorts, and then it says community, and that is my community tab. So on there, quite often, if there's a good sale, I will share that. But equally, in the past, if there's been like a bad sale, I have also said that. I try not to be too negative on this channel, but sometimes I don't know, I see things that don't even make sense. Like there was a time that Jackson's were doing a sale, and when you look at it, they were like, it's sale, but they've taken like 2 pence off the price. That is not a sale, right? And then the thing that would make it worse is that sometimes when companies do that, you don't get like, I don't know how many of you are students, but you don't get like student discount or staff discount or any other type of discount when on an item that's on sale. So if you're so instead of getting the initial 10% that you would have got, or 20% if it's actually Jackson's brand, you'd end up getting 2 pence off because it's on sale. But if you haven't committed the prices to memory, then you wouldn't know that, which is why sometimes I also point that out. So that's my community tab there. I've just sent the link so that you can take a look. But yeah, A4 is a sheet of printer paper, or letter size, I think they call it in America. Like it's slightly different to letter size. Yeah, there's quite a few people. Feel free to plug them if you want to. Because I was like, oh, maybe I should also start buying small, like buying small even more, you know? Bookstore here and art supply had a rack of Daniel Swiss tubes. Oh, I'm jealous. I'm actually jealous. The shred of joy is real. Like, honestly, it does make me feel better when I buy stuff. I was like, I need to get a bit better control. Tiny bit more control. Yeah, it's all wild on AliExpress. It's literally all wild. My bad. Honestly, it was it I wasn't even, I was just like, okay, yeah, some of them are affiliate links, which means that I make 5%. Like, say, for example, Jackson's affiliate links, I make 5% after the 20% tax has been removed. So someone spends £100, I would get, and then they take out the 20% tax, so that's £80. So I would get 5% of the £80. Does that make sense? And I was like, okay, fair enough. It is what, I don't even know how much that is. What, £4? But for £4, I would like what, sell my like, it's like anyway. Like the whole thing. I don't even know how to voice my frustration without being rude. So it's probably best I say nothing at all. Mm. Until the trolls come out. I don't even think they were trying to troll. I just think they evidently have very little respect for me. Is what it comes down to. Mm, yeah, I love A5 as well. Yeah, 40% off. But the thing is, I think they've changed so that they only do yearly membership. Correct me if I'm wrong. For me, when I was buying Skillshare, again, I think I got it on sale again, because why wouldn't you if you could? But anyway, I got it on sale, not for 40%. I think this is something that they do once a year. But I think I could only buy their yearly amount was the thing. I can share the link where you get 40% off, because I don't think it's for everybody. It's just for some people. As in, like, it's through the link. Where are we? This is the link. Square sketchbooks. I'm not gonna lie, I was 2 years old when I realized that. Is that why I like them? I'm just catching up on the chat, and then I'll go back to the painting. That is helpful. Thank you for sharing the sizes. I always get like confused. I always look them up and then I forget. Thank you. It does benefit. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. It irritates some people that it does, but hey, drives them crazy that they spend 100 and I make a few pounds from it. Evidently that's what's sustaining me, not med school. Yeah, no, I think it's for new. Let me see I can't see all the terms and conditions, but I think it is first year. Yeah, first year. Mm, 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 mm. And obviously, I wouldn't be the type to tell you to do something like create a new email address because that would be wrong. uh, I want to do that. So, Glowy Chloe, I think this might be done. I think maybe that's why I'm actually not going back to it. I would like to go to like cafes and paint. I was doing that in the last year and it was quite nice. But I need to, since I've moved, I haven't really done it, so I need to find somewhere else. Exactly. It's the wrong thing to do. What do you think? I kind of like it. I hope she likes it too. I might do a few different ones. What I was thinking of doing is, although I don't normally share my art on my personal account, I was thinking of sharing this as like do maybe two options and share it as a like which is your favorite and then hope that she votes on one so that I know which painting to gift her. Does that make sense? And I'm hoping that she will look and she will vote. Although I don't normally like I haven't told anyone I paint, so I don't need to tell them I did it. And even if they figure out I did it, I guess it's not a big deal. My bad. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. You're welcome. See, 40% off. But according to some people, that's wild because how dare I then make I don't even know how much I get from Skillshare. I think it's like I don't know. Yeah, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. I was actually thinking of making a video. I was thinking of making a video talking about how much I make on YouTube, but I don't know if that will really make the trolls come out. My rationale for it was that I have been watching, like, I've watched Ali Abdal, who is a YouTuber. He was a junior doctor in the UK who. Oh my gosh. I think the paper tore. Well, guys, looks like we're going to have to do another one because it tore. That's so annoying. It's a tiny tear, but it's a tear nonetheless. So prepare yourselves for seeing part 2 of this painting. It killed me. I know, it's so sad. I don't know why. Like I had it proper in, but sometimes it just goes onto the wrong plane. What was I talking about before this depressing thing occurred? What's going on? It won't let me take it off. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, see, there's a tear there. I can't gift her a torn painting. Why? Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for getting me back on track. Yeah. So I was thinking about doing a video talking about how much money I've made on YouTube. Because there's this guy called Ali Abdal who has been making videos for a long time, I think 6 years, and he was doing that every year, and it was actually quite interesting and inspiring to watch and to see. And now, obviously, his numbers are like, I think he made £4 million this year. Um, like from YouTube and all his other businesses that he kind of created as a result of it. But I don't know, I think that transparency would be helpful amongst artists, and also it would let people know, because I think some people think like you're out here raking it in, making it rain, which is just not the case for most people. But that being said, you know, if YouTube could make enough for my art supplies, that'd be grand, no? That's what I'm working towards. Anyway, I don't know. I thought it might be helpful for, and even I thought it might be helpful for anyone who this is it, for anyone who wants to start a YouTube channel, maybe, like, you know, if that's the kind of thing that they would like, frame it and the tear won't show. That it is a good point. I am going to frame it actually. I need to get one of those things that are called, you know, the cardboard that line it. I think I need to get that. Yeah, someone said guitar pick. But the thing is, I have like a small pick already, but that was making it worse. I have this, which it came with, but that was tearing, that was almost like tearing the page underneath, which didn't make sense. Mm. No, but no, that's the thing. Quite a few people like talking about money can be seen as quite a funny thing. I think people think that you're then like showing off, flexing, you know, out here. Like once I even had, you know, like I started getting comments about, oh, you know, just comments about me going on holidays and buying art supplies, and some people were not happy about that. I was like, what the hell? What the actual hell is people's problem? Um, but then on the other hand, when I look at, say, for example, Ali's videos, not only do I find it inspiring, but it puts things into content. And obviously now, like, he's grown and he's talking about millions and millions. But when he started it off, you know, he wasn't making that much, and I just thought it might be helpful and intriguing, and I like watching those kind of videos. So I'm like, oh, I should make videos that I enjoy watching. But then yeah, I don't really want people's trolls. Not wrong. Probably subconsciously I was like, yeah, how else can I justify? I can't even, I don't even want to look at the time, because does it matter? You know, I woke up ridiculously late today. I don't know why. And I don't know, I was having like really weird nightmares. Normally when that happens, I'm having a fever or something, but I feel fine. Just like really weird nightmares. Yeah, that's the thing, Dark Roast. Not everybody's on your flex, you know. Quite a few people. Quite a few people are haters. It's almost what, like, you know, when with like the Roman small paints as well. I was like, oh, should I say? Should I? Obviously, I was going to say, but part of me was like, people gonna be upset about this. People gonna be like, oh, this is why you're talking about them all the time. And it's like, no, I've been talking about them for years. I thought I was being punked when they said they were gonna send it to me. Using a spoon. Flexing with my £5. Exactly. It's like, why? Like, anyway, yeah. Like, would I be mad at making more money on through YouTube and all the opportunities? Absolutely not. Like, I would be so happy to, you know, but anyway, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll make that video anyway. Let the trolls come. Haters go and hate, innit? What can you do? Chloe, what did I miss? A spoon as a palette knife. This is the thing I keep saying, there is definitely enough for everyone. No, I didn't eat anything odd. I just had I had tortellini. Yeah, no, they were like, oh, and this is the thing. I was like, you think that, you think that my income is coming from the £30, whatever, however much you have spent on Jackson's, and that is why I am sending this, as opposed to the fact that I'm a doctor. Like that is literally it. You think it's not the money that I get from medicine. It is the money that you have personally invested in this YouTube channel. But it is what it is. And that's not to say like to belittle it, because it does make a difference. But then is that not a good thing? Like me, because I can't get like affiliate income from my own purchases. Does that make sense? So if I'm um if I'm going to buy something, I click on somebody's affiliate link so that at least somebody else is like, do you know what I mean? To me, it just makes sense. I can't get it, someone else should. But no, some people don't like that and get annoyed. It is what it is, you know. Weird dreams into weird stories. I don't even know where this story would have led. Like, I can only remember snippets of it, but I know that shooting was involved. And was someone having a baby? Like, I don't know. It was just very. I remember just waking up and being like, "What the hell was that?" But I also think that it was just that I probably had slept too much. Oh, hi, Lindor. Midday. Perfect. See, I like doing ridiculously timed live streams, because at least that way I get to like meet other subscribers who perhaps wouldn't have been able to see it otherwise. But yeah, I'm off tomorrow. So and by tomorrow I mean later today. So my plan is to edit my YouTube video, which hopefully will be done by tomorrow, if not Monday. And then I'm also doing like a few extra like videos for Kofi. I've just been feeling super inspired. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do them. Initially, my plan was like, oh, you know, one video per month, but I've done more than one video per month. And each month I get an idea as to something that I want to do, and then I do it, basically. So I have like a few extra videos. I just need to figure out when to release them. But the one that I want to do and release is I've got some books from the library. So I'm just going to be doing like flick throughs, and each of them, it's like books that I haven't like looked at. Does that make sense? So it's like my thoughts as I look through them. And then I also have like a swatching video at some point, and then I have a real time painting video of a picture that I took when I was in Venice. Basically, lots of videos for Kofi coming up. Oh, welcome back. It is indeed still going on because I obviously have a problem. It looks like we are indeed crossing time zones. I mean, you're in Cali, so hopefully I won't. Last time, I think it ended up being late for you as well. I think that was a personal record. Have I used the Gazette Hammer paints? I have used them. I do like them. I have not got the Art Nouveau set, although I can see that loads of people are using them on YouTube, and the colors look beautiful. But I have used them. It was featured in quite a few streams actually. At the very least 2, I want to say, or 1. I'm getting maybe more than 1. Because I remember the painting that I did with them where I was like laying them on thick. Yeah, I remember Dark Race. It was like, it got so ridiculously late that it was too late even for you in Canada. And then what like really sealed it in is that then the UK people started waking up and joining. And I was like, oh, this is officially ridiculous. But yeah, so Kofi's my Patreon equivalent. And to be honest, the reason that I went with Kofi over Patreon was because the fees were lower, significantly lower. And it has like they listen to creators, does that make sense? Like they keep changing the features and making them better. They take 0% from donation. So if someone were to like donate to the channel, on there, they don't take any fees, and then they take 5% of everything else, which is not unreasonable. I think when I was checking Patreon, it was like 12%. So I was getting very confused by everything else. The one benefit is that when I tell people, like, if I were to tell someone, oh, I have a Patreon, they understand what that is straight away, and they're like, okay, cool. When I tell people, oh, I have a Ko-fi, they're like, what? You have a what? You do what? And then I have to explain what it is and what I'm doing on there, and the art challenges that I do every month, the exclusive videos, the Discord. I'm curious to know what people's favorite parts are, because I can't tell. I don't know which one my favorite bit is. I think I really like the Discord. Like, I like the fact that we can talk every day on there and share art. And it's just helped me like know you guys. Does that make sense? Faster than through the comments, because we chat more than we do in the comments. But then also I like creating slightly different videos and experimenting with different video types. But then I also like doing art challenges, and I like seeing your art. So I'm a bit confused as to which bit is my favorite. But yeah, I was kind of always playing around with different ideas on what to change and what to improve. So if anyone has ideas, I'm always open to listen. Yeah, no, they are beautiful. Yeah, not only wild. So yeah, Kofi is not free, unfortunately. It is a monthly membership, or some people like tip. Initially, it says like donate for a coffee, but I don't actually drink coffee. So I was thinking of changing it to donate for a sheet of 100% cotton watercolor paper. Or at least for half a sheet, I think. Yeah, like, why is that paper so expensive? Yeah, for half a sheet of 100% cotton watercolor paper. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoy it. How is it different? Yeah. So it's different. It's not different. It's just or is it different? I haven't used Patreon, so I can't like 100% say all the differences, but it's a similar thing of, you can have tiers on there, just in case you're thinking of starting up your own as well. So you can have tiers on there, or you can just have one tier. Patreon also has the feature that allows you to just receive one-off like gifts, donation tips, but I think most people don't use it for that, so it's not something that you see quite often, or as often rather. You're able to share videos, you're able to share exclusive content like I do. You're able to sell, like there's a shop on there as well. So on there, for example, I have my ebook, I have like different guides, I have the art challenges. So you can have all those things. You can do gifts, you can do like physical gifts, digital gifts. You can do everything that you can do on Patreon. The difference is that it's newer, so they're younger basically, and they're still like very much growing. So they still, they're changing things, which is good depending on what creatives want and request. They are, and their fees are lower. So they charge 5% for membership, or they take 5% of membership fees, and then they take 0% of any donations or tips. Whereas Patreon, it depends, I believe. Sorry, I keep sniffing. It depends, I believe, on how much you are making and how many like Patreons you have on how much you get charged. But when I was looking at it, it was basically working out at 12%. That they were taking for fees. Some things like they have some benefits like Patreon over Ko-fi, more so like the fact that it's known, so it's lower barrier to entry for people because they know it already, and also I think they like sort out tax for you, or they have like, I don't know, they have something that makes tax a little bit easier. But I think the main plus is just the fact that it's known, you know. But it can be quite clunky to use as a patron, and as in like as someone who's supporting an artist, as well as an artist that's using it. But you can have Discord on there as well. You can have the same benefits basically. Similar platforms. It's just that Ko-fi keeps changing because they're relatively new and they're still like, you know, in that phase of let's listen to people. I think there's still thousands on there, but it's just not as big as Patreon yet. And their fees are lower. So yeah, it's the same. And yes, buy me a coffee. Oh yeah. Yeah, so it's the same. It's just then yeah, so the thing is that there's a site called Buy Me a Coffee that's not Ko-fi, but it's the same concept. So tip is Buy Me a Coffee, and on there as well, on Ko-fi as well, you can have memberships. But their memberships I think are relatively new again, maybe like 2 years old. And it's through there. I basically use it like a Patreon. So I normally we have a Discord, which is like a WhatsApp, basically, and where we can chat and share art and stuff. And then what else do we have? Yeah, and then I make videos and art challenges and more. We've had paint parties on there as well, which we need to do again. Am I sniffing because I'm allergic to my cat? I think I'm sniffing because I'm cold. I have the heating on, but the rest of my, like, you know, it's not enough. This place is still freezing. Have I? I do have super thanks, don't I? I think I have super thank. Yeah, I do have. I've received super thanks before. I think I have it. But the only thing with super thanks, and obviously I love them and I'm grateful for them. But the only thing is that they YouTube takes 33%. So you know how I was like, oh, Ko-fi takes 5, Patreon takes 12, YouTube goes ham. So they do take more, which is fine. I just think it's fine if you know that and you're happy with that. Does that make sense? But when I found that out, for example, I was like, okay, well then I'd rather just give a little bit, give direct. Basically. Oh yeah, they are turned down. Yeah, they take 30%. I think 33% even. YouTube don't play when it comes to their fees. That's why I haven't started YouTube memberships. Because to me, it just makes sense to do it all on Ko-fi, and then yeah, to me it just makes more sense to do it all on Ko-fi. Even though I think, like, you know, one of the benefits of doing it on YouTube would be that people are watching you on YouTube, so they it's just easier, and then you can have like more exclusive videos and whatnot, and other people can see the exclusive videos that you've released because it will say members only. So I get all that, but 33%. Yeah, and so YouTube, the way that it works also when you get paid from them is that they take, I don't know if it's 45 or 55% of the income from adverts. So they don't take a small amount, but then it almost feels like how much can I say about it when really and truly they run the platform. So you don't even have control of it, which is why I was like, oh, I need to build an email list, so that should anything happen, I can at least still get in touch with people. Like the idea of what happened. Oh, I think it was like my Etsy that just randomly got shut down. No pre-warning, no, like obviously this happened with PayPal as well. But it happened with my Etsy, and it just had me thinking like, oh my gosh, if anything like that were to happen on YouTube and they were to decide for reasons unknown that actually they don't like my content or whatever, I would have no way of getting in touch with any of you. And I thought that was very sad. No more live streams, no more nothing, um mm, mm, mm. Yeah, it's like the IRS. uh yeah, you get it all. Am I you get almost all of it. You get so Kofi won't charge you, but then you will get charged by PayPal or by the by Stripe if you pay with card. So there's no way other than like bank transfer to not get charged anything. Um but I think it's something like, say for example, if someone were to pay, and then obviously like depending on where you are also, what's that thing, exchange rate. So out of £9, for example. So if someone were to give £10 as a super chat, I would get £6 £6 67. If it was through YouTube, I would get £9 51 if it was on Kofi by card, and I would get £9 like 20 if it was through PayPal. Does that make sense? Mm. But I would still appreciate it all the same. This is not to say like, oh, don't give anything, or give more. Or do you see what I mean? Like, it's just at least it. I think it helps to know, to understand. And then, if any of you are thinking about starting a YouTube channels or starting your own Ko-fis or starting anything like that, then you have a bit of a better idea as to what platforms are available and why some people do some over the others. Totally sending it. You should. It's really good. There's quite a few artists on there. So it is really lovely. I'm also like on Patreon in terms of like supporting other artists on the Patreon. Um and it is nice. It's like another community. Mm-mm. Hey Molpix, welcome. Yeah, I hope it's helpful because honestly, a lot of the time, all this information is out there. It's just spread over so many different um, platforms, videos, blogs, whatever, that it just takes so long to find it out, and you end up, you know, making mistakes along the way. So I'm like, I'm happy to share the many, many, many mistakes I have made, so that so if you're doing the same, your life is a little bit easier. One of the mistakes I made is, hey, if you created a PayPal when you were less than 18, my friend, create a new PayPal, abandon that one, don't tell no one that you created it, because as soon as PayPal find out, they will block it. And it is permanent, and they will, like, they've blocked my bank accounts, they've blocked everything. Well, they initially blocked everything, and then they told me to just create another one now that I am older, even though I've had that PayPal for what, 12 years. So I created another one, and then they blocked that too. And they said, oh yeah, we blocked it because the details on there were very similar to a recently blocked account. I was like, are you guys taking the damn mic? And as a result of that, Kofi were then like, oh, the one thing I would say that's very annoying about Kofi, and I don't know if Patreon has the same thing, is that because I changed my payment account from the old PayPal to the new PayPal that I created, every Ko-fi member then had to delete their membership and rejoin, which I truly, truly appreciate everyone who did that. Like, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it, because I'm not going to lie. When I found out, I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Like, I am quitting. I'm taking a break. I'm not doing YouTube. I'm not doing Ko-fi. I'm not doing anything, because I keep trying to do these things and they don't work. And I am tired of failing, and I didn't think anyone would rejoin, and I just felt like it was such an unacceptable thing to ask people to do, to cancel and rejoin. And I was like, it's going to make me look unprofessional, and I just thought it would be annoying for people to do, and people wouldn't do it. And yeah, I was like, that's it, I'm done. And so it ends. Because you have to understand. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, sorry. Uh, yeah, so yeah, I was calling it quits, maybe like a few days right before Christmas, because I was like, I can't do this. Literally 2 days before Christmas, and I think I was definitely considering, like, I was very low about it in the first when the first one got blocked, and I can't tell you, I God, thank God that I'd watched this video, because something similar happened to Minnie Small um, a few years ago, and she made a video as to why she wasn't using PayPal anymore, about how they blocked her account, took her money. She's been trying to get it back. It's been a long time, and I just had the flashback of this video that I had watched maybe like 4 years ago. And so, as all this was going on, I emptied out my PayPal account, which I am so grateful for, because if they shut down your account permanently because you happen to have created your account when you were 17 years old, they will hold on to your money for 6 months. This is PayPal, yeah? They'll hold on to it for 6 months, and they will. The way that they worded it is that they may or may not give you back some, all, or part of, or none. So there's the option, there is the possibility that you won't get any of your money back. And irrespective of that, I think they take out the, I don't know, like processing fees that they have to, for them, the inconvenience that they sustain from blocking your account and thus having to process your money. They also take a fee out of that. So anyway, emptied my bank account. Emptied the PayPal account. And I was just very I don't know why, but I was very low about it. I was like, oh, no one's going to join again. This is terrible. It's all over. But I spoke to my mum, who's like, nope, it's not all over. I don't think people will care as much as you think they will. And I was like, they will care. Everybody will hate me for this. This is ridiculous. I was like, I keep trying and it keeps not working. And yeah, not just this, but it was just like a whole bunch of things. So anyway, I told you guys about it, and you guys were absolutely awesome. Most people like rejoined straight away and were like, yeah, of course, we will rejoin. It's no big deal. Obviously quite a few people didn't rejoin, but that's okay. I was just so touched by everyone who did. I was just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe people stayed. So yeah. How did we get on this tangent? I am so sorry. It was me talking about Ko-fi plus or benefits and drawbacks. One of the drawbacks is, yeah, if you have a PayPal account and you started it when you were less than 18, just disregard that account. Don't attach any, like, don't send PayPal your ID. Just abandon it. Start a new account with, your payment details and whatever, and then live a happy life that PayPal doesn't come and trash all over. Yeah. Now you know. So with YouTube, 40, I think it's either 45 or 55%. I honestly can't remember. of the ad revenues they take. It might be 45%. 55 sounds ridiculous, but it might be. It's one of the two. And then they take 33% of any super chats and super thanks, memberships, all that good stuff. They're taking a good chunk of it. And then, well, this is public knowledge, so I think I can talk about it. I don't think they normally like people talking about about their fees. And then what else is there? I think that's pretty much it for fees. Yeah, so you can with Ko-fi, the other thing is that they have like gold membership. And what that means, maybe I am coming down with something. And what that means is that you pay. So Ko-fi is free to sign up for. Does that make sense? So if you want to like sign up and as in like if you wanted to sign up and create your own memberships, etc., it's free for you to do that. But if you have a free account, then they take 5% of am I making sense? Yes, then they take 5% of the membership fees. However, if you become a Ko-fi Gold member, then they will take 0%. They won't take anything. And to become a Ko-fi Gold member, you pay, I think, £60 for the year. So the way that it works out, or the thing I don't know if I can remember, but basically what I did was worked out how much would I have to make each month in order for it to make sense for me to do that. And once I crossed over that, I became a gold member and I paid the yearly fee so that they wouldn't take 5% of everything else that I would make. Does that make sense? So that's something else that might be worth considering. And they have like other benefits for being a gold member. Like I think you get access to some of the rewards sooner than others. I think that's pretty much it. The main benefit for me is the lower fees if you make, but it's only worth it if you make over a certain amount. Thank you so much. And here we are. Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Hey, bonjour, El Borba. Welcome back. And then, was there another question? I just created a Jackson's app on my way to my phone using your affiliate link. Oh, thank you. And yeah, App Store may take a little bit. Well, that's that on Ko-fi. I'll still link. Let me link my Ko-fi. There you go. That's my Ko-fi. So this month started off the month by making a digital calendar. I don't know. I think it's just fun, like a really fun a way for me to express myself and to hang out with some awesome people. But yeah, no, definitely some ups and downs. I was like, it's over. I'm gonna have to start all over again. Why? That was pretty much my reaction. Well, first it was shock. It was like, what the hell's going on? Then, like I went through the stages of grief of like trying to fight it. And I like, called them, emailed them, sent them messages. Then when I realized it was a no-go and this was permanent, I was like, okay, problem solved. And that's why I created the new account. And I was like, okay, fine. I've created the new account. Everything is fine. And then Jody, who's one of my Ko-fi members, messaged me. I was like, hey, none of your payments, like my payments aren't going through. Is everything okay? And then I messaged Ko-fi and they were like, yeah, you changed your payment method. So everybody has to delete their membership. And I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm actually done. Done this. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But my mom was like, no, What are you talking about? Keep going. It's going well. You love it. People are enjoying it. You have friends on there. It'll be fine. I was like, no, it won't be. It's over. I was totally overreacting. But I think it's like, because I cared so much about it and I was like putting so much effort into it. I was like, why is it that day after day, these I keep having this uh technical difficulties that are making it harder for me to do what I want to do. Yeah, she definitely kept him going. Very, very sweet. Um, she was like, "No, that's fine. The people who want to stay will stay, and it will still be amazing." And it is. That is true. It is still amazing. Um, but yeah, if anyone has any questions about it, I'm happy to answer. I think I did a live stream where I was talking about like growing on YouTube and YouTube tips and stuff. It was because quite a few people started asking me questions about it, and I was like, oh, well, I'm happy to answer. It's quite fun to like YouTube is quite fun, and I think also talking about YouTube is quite fun. Mm. Yeah, we all have moments of overreaction. Yeah, that was literally me. Um, Overreacting massively. With regards to muddy looking colors, I don't think it's the paper. I think it might be the mixtures. Correct me if I'm wrong if you guys have experienced it with paper, but I suspect like especially if they're looking muddy, so you mean they're looking like brown, gray, dulled down. I find that for the most part the paper will not do that. Um it will like I know unless it's like you're using like it might look funny if maybe or different rather if you're using like tan paper or if you're using like off-white paper. But no, for the most part, if they're looking muddy, then I think it's the mixtures that you're doing in terms of like what kind of colors are you trying to mix when that's happening? Mm, I hope you choose to put gold on the roses. I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I love gold. I probably will. Welcome, a wonderful messy life. Join in, paint if you want. That's the beauty of these live streams. I think it's good to have on in the background if you're doing other things like working, which Miss Ebony quite often is when I am live, or if you're also painting, or sometimes just if you want to talk to other artists who are around and enjoying their Saturday, Sunday, you can do that. This is why I have 8,000 convenience colors. I do love convenience colors as well, to be fair. But no, so I think yeah, Mobics, it depends on what colors you're trying to mix, like what colors you're trying to create. And I think it goes back to color theory essentially, because certain colors will lean towards a certain primary, a second, a certain secondary color more than another one. So you have your primary colors, your blue, red, and yellow. Your secondary colors are your orange, purple, and green. And each of your primary colors will lean towards one or the other. So, for example, if you're using like a really orangey yellow and you mix it with a reddish blue, you won't get as bright a green as you would have if you'd mixed it with a greeny blue. And sometimes if you keep doing mixes like that or mixing multiple things, like you mix those two and then you also add a red to it, then you end up getting muddy colors because you're almost like mixing all three primaries. And all three primaries tend to lead to more muted gray or brown colors. So if you're creating mixtures where you have all three, that is why that's happening. I hope that makes sense. Oh, thank you so much, Chloe. Chloe, that's so sweet. I forgot that that could happen. I was like, wait, Kofi. I was like, how's Kofi on our chat? Like, what's going on? Thank you so much. Honestly, I really appreciate it. Meanwhile, I'm here talking color theory. Thank you. It always depends, but it mostly happens to yellow, orange colors. If I try to mix them up, they're always weird edges once they dry. Thank you. So orange, yellows on oranges, weird edges. Shouldn't be any weird edges. If anything, I think it's harder to get muddy colors with orange because you're red. But you're because I feel like with oranges you can almost use any. Oops, I don't want to scrub it away. You can almost use any yellow, but obviously if you use an orangey yellow, it will be a bit better. Yeah, no, I forgot that it was connected. I didn't realize it was connected initially. There's so many things that I did at the beginning that I just didn't like, settings that I didn't realize. And then forgot about until now. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that could be. But then it's not muddy necessarily. It's just that your painting is drying unevenly. Like mine is right now. And what that means is that you're almost like creating a puddle. So then the paint starts drying in the middle, but the outside hasn't dried, and then you get harsh edges. And the harsh edges tend to be darker. Yeah, then that's why. So it's not that it's muddy, it's that that's because of the water control. So sometimes it just means that you're adding too much water when you're painting, like I am demonstrating here, annoyingly. Or sometimes if you're using like paper that's warping, then it's kind of forcing the water to go to the edges. Does that make sense? And then the edges dry darker. I'm just doing this bit really quick and then I'll look at the chat again. Trying to fight those dark edges that I am getting. This is why I tend to do the background first, but I thought I would try something different with this one because I find this bit quite tedious. But I guess the effect is different. Add more purple. See, I love that everyone's able to help and put input on this. Then want a harsh edge there. Sorry, I'm just concentrating for this bit. And then I will look up the chat again. Just trying to get the edges using the wrong brush. Why am I like this? Okay, I think I've struggled enough. I'll use a different brush. Oh, what? Whoopsie. Where is my brush? This is not the brush I wanted, but I'll use it. This is a new brush I haven't quite used yet. It's a, where's my, oh, my paintbrushes are there, so I'll use those. But this is a Jackson's Kite brush. I wanted to see what's so special about it. But I'll try it on its own so that I can fully evaluate its properties. And this one is my Princeton Aqua Elite. Ah, what ugly color did I just create? Yeah, I'm using Jackson's has sticky tape. I keep mentioning Jackson's because I bought sticky tape from, like, I bought this tape from Amazon after searching for ages and ages and ages, and I don't know why it was so hard to find. I just wanted like thin tape, you know, like 1 centimeter or less, and I just could not find it for the life of me. I could only see the thick ones, and eventually I found it. But Jackson's actually has it. I just didn't know that beforehand. So they have, I think, 12 millimeters. But any tape will do, like any washi tape, or you don't have to spend a lot of money. But then you'll be able to stick it down, and that will keep your paper nice and flat, which will at least help remove that element and then let you focus on the water control. That was risky. Vic. Everything is, yeah, I don't know why that's what it sounds like in my head. It's just how it sounds. Vic. It's not enough to say it like weird. You also have to say it deep, you know? So you may note or see that next to my palette, oh no, you can't see it, but next to my palette, I have tissue. And then a lot of the time that I'm painting somewhere on screen, off screen, I will have tissue. And that's just to take off the excess water after I've put it in, after I've put my brush in water, so that I can have a bit more control of what I'm doing. And I think most people have it for the most part. It may not be on screen or on the camera, but tissue or a towel is incredibly helpful when painting with watercolors. I also do it with gouache, actually. Yeah, I also have washi tape. I just thought washi tape would be, I don't know, I bought washi tape eventually. And someone was like, "Oh yeah, I love it for all the beautiful patterns." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I bought black washi tape." The one, like, the plainest. It was MT as well. I haven't used it yet because I still have some of this masking tape left. I just wanted it thin so that I could do nice thin edges, basically. Like, especially when I divide my page itself. I wanted to be able to do that. Filling in these gaps is a lot. Yeah, that's what I do. Great minds think alike, dark roast. I I don't know, I feel like I heard someone say that having like black tape would help me assess tonal values because that like you have something that's very dark already on the page. I don't know if that's true, but I was like, okay, I'll get black rather than a fancy pattern. I'm also not that into patterns, um, which feels crazy to say on YouTube. Like, I'm not into stickers, I'm not into patterns. Just don't know what to do with them. There's a reason that most of the time I'm wearing black, although I don't know if you can tell. Am I like cutting up my face? Because I feel like I'm progressively leaning more and more into the painting. Oh, need to look that. Mm. Ah, you bullet journal. See, I wanted to bullet. I wanted to bullet journal, and I actually bought like a Lloydstrom dotted notebook for that purpose. Maybe like, if not last year, the year before. Um, but I never ended up doing it because I just couldn't find the time to actually do it. Um, and then I kept spending more time, or in my head, I was like using up so much time trying to figure out the setup for my journal as opposed to actually using the journal, which is why I'm now using a like undated planner that my brother bought me because he's so sweet. Might cover that leaf altogether. There we go. And what are we thinking? Go back and do a second layer. But yeah, definitely like tempted by bullet journaling. I do like the idea. I like journaling in general. Um, because I feel like my autobiographical memory, so the memory of my life, isn't that great. Um, when I think back on stuff, like I tend to forget. Like I'm good at remembering facts and like random facts, but when it comes to actually things I've done or whatever, I remember rough details, but I'll forget quite a lot. Um, which is part of the reason that I love, the vlogs that I've created because they bring back, like with prompts, I can then remember almost everything, but without them, they it's almost all gone. So at least when I look back on my Malta vlog, my Venice vlog, I can remember it quite vividly. When I look back on, pictures that I took there or maybe paintings that I created somewhere, again, I can remember things quite vividly. So I thought that journaling would also help with that. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I think I've got some green. I've got some blue in this. So it's darker than I intended, but it's okay. I'm just going back and adding some more detail so that we can make it a little bit more interesting. Yeah, not stickers. I know it's I feel so wild about that because like, obviously when I watch art YouTube, there's either artists creating stickers or doing it as a reward for their Patreon, or like they have stickers on their sketchbooks, or just like everyone seems to love stickers. I've just never really got into them. Like I don't know what to do with them. Um yeah, like that's literally where it ends. I don't know what to do with them. I wouldn't put them in my sketchbook. I don't really have like I don't decorate my notebooks. They're quite rough and rugged. So I'm just like I don't know what to do with them. Artist tape. Thank you. I need to look into that. You sound like Lisa's not me. Yay! It's not just me. Oh, Artex tape. I've seen that as well. I'm not judging you. You go ahead and put it in the sketchbooks. I don't know what to do with them. Like when I don't know. I feel like if I were to put them in my sketchbook, am I then drawing them? Then again, I've seen people put them like that's not what I wanted to do. I've seen people put them on, yeah, inside and outside of the sketchbook. I don't know. I don't know why I never really got into the whole sticker scene. Even with like bullet journaling, when I was looking into it, I didn't buy like any washi tape or anything. My plan was to paint and draw in them, or more so draw. I always kind of felt like I am better at drawing than I am painting. But I enjoy painting more than I enjoy drawing, which is why this channel has lots of painting and not that much drawing. Like I enjoy both, obviously, but definitely more painting. Even though I'm like, oh, but my drawings are so much better. But it's funny, I think someone was asking me in my last live stream, I was swatching out the Roman Schmall watercolors, like your favorite colors, just so that if you wanted to buy them or if you were wondering like which one, this one or that one, like you had a bit of a better idea of what the colors look like next to each other and what they swatch like. So I was doing that, and then someone asked me about, I think they were asking me about acrylic, like painting with gouache basically, or why I was painting with acrylic gouache and not normal gouache and not acrylic, which was a good question. And then it kind of led me to the fact that look, I'm not creating art to sell my art. Although I was thinking maybe I should, but then I find it so hard to part with my art because I really love it, but I love it and like I don't know, I'm not I'm like, okay, I love it, but I'm just like keeping it. It's not, I don't know. My brother was like, you should just sell it. You can't just keep it all yourself. Like you can't just hoard your own art. I'm like, oh, but I love it. How am I supposed to let go? How am I supposed to let go of it? But anyway, the question that they asked led me to the point that I create art to relax and to have a good time, and because I enjoy the process. And perhaps if I was creating art to get commissions or to, get like create a book or something like that, then it would be different. But for me right now, I'm very much led by what I enjoy and what I like making. But yeah, no, I'm curious. Does anyone sell their art? How do you kind of go about that? Because I was playing with the idea of that. Because I do have a lot of art and I do love it. I'm like, oh, but I love it. How can I let go? I'm like, can't hold on to it forever. Can't take it with you. Acid-free tapes. Mr. Penn, thank you. Chloe for letting us know. And MT. Yeah, no, that's a good shout. I use post-it notes to do that. Dalbe brushes. You fancy. This is like, this has probably been the most passionate I've been about brushes, like in terms of with the new Rosemary Co brushes, because they were so intriguing to use. But apart from that, I've always been like I just use what I have. Like I just use, I got myself 2 affordable round brushes, which were the Princeton Aqua Elite 8 and Princeton Aqua Elite 12. And that is what I used almost exclusively for all my paintings. And then I got like travel brushes so that I could carry that from AliExpress. No, from Amazon. And then that was it. And then painting hiding was like, hey, do you want to pick some brushes? I'll send them to you. Oh, there goes the cut again. I'll send them to you. And that's how we got into these wonderful, interesting shapes. I'm just catching up on your comments. Yeah, that's the thing. Someone did mention that as well. Like one of the things I did consider is like, say for example, if I were to or like one of the things if you have like a YouTube channel or you have yeah, I guess so, more so a YouTube channel or if you're building like a following on Instagram and stuff, there's always the advice to like niche down, which basically means like, pick something that you do and keep doing it, and then the people who like exactly those things will find it and you will grow faster, and that is true to a certain extent. But I think that it can be quite limiting in that you it's hard to do literally the same thing all the time forever. Like either you will get bored or your audience will get bored, and then sometimes you end up putting yourself in a bit of a box where you then feel like you can't change or you can't try anything new because the people that are watching are used to a certain thing, and then it affects your statistics and blah blah blah, which is why I think it's good, like if someone is starting off, to um, think of the niche less so about one thing and more so about like the person and what they would like, and then creating it for that kind of person, and then also letting your personality shine through, because I think a lot of the time a lot of the artists that I watch on YouTube or that I follow on Instagram is because I like them, like I like their personality. If I like their art, bonus, but it's not the end all and be all. So definitely do what you want. The right people will find you, the right people will stay, um and it will benefit you in the long run, I think. And I think if anyone's starting, again, think about it like that. So don't just, if you know you love all forms of mediums, don't just do a watercolor channel. Every so often, put something else in there, see, let people know what to expect. I say that I don't even know what people should expect from my channel. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm at 5,000, so does that mean I can't change, I can't do anything else? But I think that I have got a good balance of like sharing different things that I do live streams, I've done shorts, I share about watercolor, I've shared about gouache, and I feel that I've shared enough about myself in general that most people know what to expect. No one should get, angry or shocked if I do an acrylic painting, because I paint, I experiment. That's what this channel is about. Learning, messing up publicly. um, Catching up. Yeah, no, that's true. That's a lovely way to think about it. Because I would love, like, yeah, that's why I don't think you guys understand. When I started Kofi, my first Happy Meal had my art, and to some would be like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. It's hard for me to part with my art, but I was like, I am so grateful that it feels like, it was how there's like love languages. I don't know how I keep going on these tangents, but it felt like an act of a love language, like like. So basically, there's this theory or quiz or book about there being five love languages. One of them being acts of service, one of them being quality time. Then there's gifts, affirmations, and physical touch. And the idea behind it is that we receive love, but we receive love and we express loves in different ways. And it's quite an interesting, like, I found it quite interesting to do, because I did it with like a few friends and I've done it with family and stuff, just to like get a rough idea. Because for me, for example, my love language is acts of service and quality time. And yeah, yeah, and did it with like other friends and family members. And like, say for example, if someone's love language is like affirmations, they may feel some type of way about the fact that you don't compliment them or encourage them or, speak positively into their lives. Whereas for you, because your love language is quality time, or like, for example, for me, because my love language is quality time, me sitting alone with you in silence is me showing you that I love you. Me doing a live stream is me showing love. Does that make sense? But if your love language is gifts, then me sitting in silence with you, you may not appreciate the fact that that's me saying I love you. So anyway, it was quite an interesting quiz and thing, and all that to say that acts of service is me giving my art, and that is my love language. And live streams, again, my love language. People spending time with, that's also how I receive love. So people choosing to spend time with me on live streams makes me feel loved. Does that make sense? Or like my family hanging out with me makes me feel loved. Whereas things like yeah, I'm not big on physical touch. I can't, like, to me you can touch anyone. Love doesn't have to be involved. but yeah, that's how it is. You'd be you would be shocked. You'd be shocked, but you wouldn't be like, oh, I hate her channel, I'm leaving, this is unacceptable. Whereas if I started doing lots of videos about fishing, no art included, you might be like, that's not what I signed up for. Um, yeah, I know at the moment I bought a I think maybe the tipping point. Thank you. I think maybe the tipping point was that I bought a big folder, like a big portfolio to store all my art. And he was like, are you making art to just keep it all for yourself? Or would you like to give it to people who love your art? And I was like, would anyone love my art? Like, would they love it as much as I love my art? I'm just being silly. But yeah, I don't know. I've been playing around with the idea, and we were talking, he brought it up again um the other day, because I think either he brought it up again or I brought it up again. I was like, oh, maybe I should. And he was like, yeah, you should. Um, so maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I will do that. So I guess I'll have to figure that out. If anyone is selling their art and has tips or advice on it, please let me know. Because things like pricing, I wouldn't know. I'd have to like start looking into like, how do you even price it? Um, yeah, how do you price it? I don't know. I think I'd probably just sell it on Ko-fi, because I do have like a Ko-fi shop. Although most people who sell their art, I guess if you're like a serious artist, you have a website, um, not a Ko-fi. But I don't know. Oh, thank you so much for joining. I hope your computer gets fixed slash doesn't break. Mm. No, I don't feel that. This is the thing. I don't think it sounds weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it sounds weird to want to keep it. But then I also think, I don't know, maybe it's because I keep getting recommended like videos on minimalism and um, decluttering and just the idea of not holding on to things. And um, maybe that's what's making me think about this stuff as well. I literally watched a video on minimalism right before the live stream, right before I started getting ready for it. Yeah, websites are hard, no? I find. But I can't wait for the day that that I can be like, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. They seem to sponsor everybody else. I'm like, what? Who are they sponsoring? But what would be great is if they could not only sponsor my video, but also create the website for me. That would be great. Mm, So this is the thing. I think this is the other thing that maybe made me think like, how do I know? One, I have a lot of art, so I wouldn't know like how to list it and how to sell it. Two, um, I used to sell art prints and greeting cards, and it was okay. Like it did okay, but it wasn't like a massive, like a, I still have some cards left kind of thing. So I think that's what almost had me thinking like, oh well, my designs may be nice and I may love them, but I don't know if that necessarily means I should sell them. Mm. So that's why I wonder, do I have any to hand? I think they're a bit further away. But yes, I used to have an Etsy right before Etsy shut down my shop. Like months into running it, I used to sell. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, no, that's really good advice. Decide if the rate is comfortable for you. Yeah, because I was like, how can I put a price on it? Um, but yeah, I'll see. Because what I was thinking of is selling originals, not prints. Like actually selling the originals, actually selling the originals. I think I would still have maybe like make a copy for myself so that at least I can look back and see my process and my progress and see what I sold and you know Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. Well, I think an artist can be a minimalist. You just have to get what you need and then be ready to let things go. So I think if you were to create art and sell the art that you create and just have a few sketchbooks, you are being a minimalist. If you buy over 20 palettes of paints, then yeah, you're not a minimalist. Yeah, I don't know why it shut me down. I know other people have had issues with it as well, but um I did buy like a website domain. I just never used it. I was like, let me start off on Etsy first and see what the interest is like. And then from there I'll have a better idea um as to what what sells, what people like, and I'll, learn lessons and things. And and I did learn, but it was harder to sell than I thought it would be. Yeah, no, me too. Exactly. It's funny because in this video they were talking about the endowment principle and the idea that we put extra value to something because it's ours and because we own it. Um, Again, in this video about minimalism, and he was just kind of talking about thinking about how much would I pay for this now? And if the answer is low, then let it go. Maybe. Do you think she'd talk to me? She's so sweet. She's so nice, but I can imagine she's so busy. She'd be like, "Who is this randomer?" But I wouldn't mind. Yeah, Etsy's been a lot. Yeah, no, I was like, I can't be a minimalist, but I want to try and adopt some healthier practices. Like more stuff doesn't equal more joy, even though it feels that way with art supplies. But just in general, I think especially because I move so often, having so many physical things carries like an actual, like it's a load. Like I actually have to move everything that I have every year, and it is getting heavier and heavier and harder and harder. Mm. Thank you. I'm laughing because I was saying that I went out today and I came back, makeup done, hair done, and I was like, I actually feel like I look too good to just go to bed. Like it's such a shame to just take all of this off and nobody has seen this, you know? So hence what inspired this impromptu live. I was just felt too sad to take off my makeup and just go to bed. It's like, no, I'm going to go live in the middle of the night. Collab video. I'd be up for a collab video if she'd be up for it. I have a few collabs coming up soon. I never know when I can talk about them, which is why I'm always like vague. But two will be with like some YouTube artists, and one will be with a will be on Instagram actually with a really cool company. So more on that soon, hopefully, as soon as I can tell you. Definitely one I'll tell you like next week. Yeah, no, I got rid of so many clothes. I'm not even like a big clothes person anyway. But yeah, the more I think about the impending move, the more I'm like, I need to declutter. But to me, that extends to everything but art and art supplies. But I do like the idea that, like Wendy said, of them finding like a home. And I do think that it would be nice for them to be out and to be appreciated and loved, or enjoyed at least, rather than in a folder where I look at them occasionally and then I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I made you. And then I put it back in a folder. So I don't know, maybe that can be one of my goals. I haven't set my 2023 goals yet. I've really been struggling to figure out what I want to get out of the year. Not that I need to get something out of it, but I just find that if I set no goals, I'm a bit aimless. Like I don't really do much or anything. So it's nice for me to set goals, even if I don't necessarily do it. A lot of the time I do end up forgetting what my actual goals are. But at least at the beginning, it gives me a bit of direction. Yeah, no, not art. But yeah, no, I think I will. I will. Um, I will. Because I also think, and let me know, do you guys ever suffer from imposter syndrome? Because I feel like, especially with starting YouTube, it I've like experienced it a lot more. Um, and that's basically like the phenomenon or the fear of like, of basically feeling like an imposter, like a fraud, and like um people are going to expose you for the fraud that you are, or um that you don't I don't know, that you don't necessarily like deserve or have the skills or things like that. All the time. Okay, so it's not just me, because wild. Um it's it's a lot, and I think in part of the reason that I was like, oh no, I can't sell my art, is because sometimes I do feel, I think part of it is like imposter syndrome of like, well, it's just not good enough to sell. I love it, but will anyone else love it, um and just, yeah, in general. And I think because obviously on YouTube I feel more exposed, and I'm so grateful that we have such a lovely, positive, encouraging, uplifting community on here. Like honestly, I could not be more grateful for you guys, and all the love that you show me and that you show each other as well. But imposter syndrome is still like, gosh, man. I don't know. It's like the worst thing. Um, I completely agree. Mm, yeah, that's the thing. Really and truly, none of us are imposters, but it does. I do I do feel like that, and I think that perhaps is an element of what had me thinking like, oh yeah, no, I can't sell my art. I mean, for ages, think about it. I was like, oh, I can't even use my art supplies because I'm not good enough yet. It's just such a shame, and that's why I was saying that one of the things I was thinking of this year is just working with certain brands less because they genuinely just made me feel worse about myself. Um, and not like they just made it just fed into the imposter syndrome because they would a lot of the time come with this like who do you think you are kind of mentality, and then it's like, well, the imposter syndrome is there, like, yeah, I told you, like, who do you think you are to come and like, be working with brands and stuff. um am I now more comfortable, no, more confident using non-round brushes? Oh, hey, pre-Raphaelite. I was just talking about you earlier. Yes, I am. Oh, you going? Oh, good night, Morpix. Thank you so much for joining. But yeah, I am more comfortable using non-round brushes. I'm I wouldn't say that I have perfected it, but I've definitely been enjoying using them, and I keep reaching for them more and more and more. Um, I think I don't have like full control of them, if that makes sense. But I don't mind that because it's made my paintings a little bit different in a good way. Um, but yeah, I think this painting and the other painting that I did, both I started off with a dagger and then I moved on to the mop. And then I only picked up the round to do the closer details, but it feels so familiar in my hand that here I am still going with it. uh Comparing ourselves to others. Yeah, no, I think that has a part to play in it, and I do try not to. Um, and it's weird because I almost feel like it's that thing of like you wouldn't think or talk to anyone else the way, um, like you wouldn't think of anyone the way that we sometimes think about ourselves. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think I would ever look at someone and be like, "Oh, what an imposter, they're not an artist." Or like, "How dare they sell their art?" Like, I would never think that of someone. And yet sometimes that's the kind of nonsense that I'm here thinking for myself. Um, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's getting better. And also, I think that the key thing is, or for me, what I keep doing is in spite of how I may feel, I will do it anyways. Like this idea of do it scared, even if you don't think it's going to work, even if you are not sure if it will work out, even if you're not sure if you should, if you even deserve to do it or if you're skilled enough to do it or whatever, do it scared anyway. Do it and see what happens. Give yourself a chance kind of thing. Mm. Oh, really? Oh, good night, Sketch. Good night, Sketches. Good night, Colleen. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, self-love should be a love language. And this is the thing, honestly, part of the reason that I am so grateful for YouTube is that it has given me like a level of accountability. Do you know what I mean? That's almost forcing me to show up and forcing me to create videos and thus forcing me to take a break in my busy schedule or in life, which can get busy, to invest in self care, to paint, to listen to music, to, do something creative, have a creative outlet. And initially, I'm like, oh no, I don't have enough time. But the more I do it, the more it's like, actually, I do have enough time. Actually, I can do it. Actually, people are expecting a video, so you can't just say sorry. Although I could, obviously, like you guys are very understanding. But do you see what I mean? Like, because it feels like it's not just about me doing it for self-care, it's like held me, it's just meant that I've been able to create more art. So it's actually been very, very good for me, having this channel. and meeting you guys, painting with you guys, all that good stuff. Mm. Thank you so much. Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not necessarily looking at other people's art and thinking like, "Oh, wow, their art is so much better than mine." I think that perhaps different people have like it presents in different ways. It's just more so like a um I don't know. I think it's just more so of a like so for example with the issue with Kofi, I genuinely did believe nobody would join my Kofi again. Like I was like, that's it, it's over. Like, it was a miracle that people even joined to begin with. That was kind of like the thinking that would be going on. And then I'm like, actually, I am working really hard to provide value. I'm working very hard to make it enjoyable. I'm working very hard to give back. So why am I having all these negative thoughts? Not all the time, just sometimes, But kind of feel like it's just something that doesn't get talked about enough. And then sometimes I do see other artists that I think are like incredible and they're talking about imposter syndrome. I'm like, how on earth could you have imposter syndrome? But I think it's just one of those things that it's not, it doesn't make sense. Hence the syndrome. Hey Melissa, welcome. Yeah, I completely agree. Oh, thank you, Chloe. This was the first one that we did. This is upside down. Is this up? Yeah, I don't know how I knew that, but it was just upside down. When I was looking at it, I was like, ah. So this is the first one. This is the second one. I need to pick one. I wonder if my friend will even vote on this. I need to pick one. I'll post it on Instagram and I'll be like, hey guys, which painting do you think is best for like on my personal Instagram? Because that's where she's at. And whichever one she picks is the one that I'm going to end up gifting her. Mm. Yeah, I haven't really gifted my art before, so this should be interesting. I've received gifted art before. My mum was so sweet. She actually, because she doesn't paint at all, and and I'd like been like, oh yeah, let's paint together. Let's do a paint day. Let's do this. Let's do that. And we've done like family paint days a few times. But anyway, for one of my birthdays, she painted a birthday card for me, which I was like, I love it. I love it. I love it. Mm. Just adding extra details. Thank you so much. Thank you. See, so the happy accident of tearing the paper actually ended up being a positive in the end. Thank you so much. It's like the first one. You remember the first one, looking at the Roman small colors? Because I was convinced the sale was going to end. Normally, the sales on Jackson's only last a week, but for reasons unknown, the Roman small sale is still going on. so, um, so that impromptu live technically didn't need to happen, but I'm glad it did. And then this impromptu live was because I went out and I was like, I just didn't want to take off my makeup. I was like, I feel like I need to use this to the best of its ability, full use. I don't want to take it off when I look so good and take off, like my earrings and my jewelry. So I was like, oh, let me go live. Let me go live and say hi. Obviously took a few pictures. as well. But yeah, um, I was saying that lives like don't tend to do as well on the channel. Someone did suggest creating a separate channel for lives, which I was playing with, but then I kind of feel like it's extra work logging in to a different channel and then asking everybody to subscribe, and then inevitably some people will never know that channel exists. So I think I'll just have to do it on here, and those who like lives will watch it, those who don't will not. I think I make enough content that is not live streams that there's enough for everybody to enjoy. Pick your favorite. Thank you so much, Free Raphaelite. Good night, Humdrum. Thank you so much for joining. Mm. Glowy Chloe, you say this, but you don't even know how many times I have done two very, very, very similar paintings. Usually it's because like there comes a point where, for example, I may want to change something, but I'm not sure if it will work. So instead of like ruining something that I perhaps like, I will paint it again. Um and do it that way. But yeah, that could be a way. Like every painting has like a sister painting, and I keep one and I sell one. Mm-mm-mm. Maybe we'll do that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and I should just list a few paintings. If people want them, they can buy them. If people don't want them, then I keep them. Oh, I hope it's like velvet and silk. I don't know what that means, Melissa. Is that a good thing? And Wendy, I'm glad that you have enjoyed it. So the way that I tend to do it is like obviously I lay down the first like the painting, the watercolor painting first, and then where I add like these extra, and then I kind of go back with the gold and I add like extra lines where I would have perhaps darkened part of the painting. So just adding extra details. So on the roses and on the florals itself is a little bit more subtle on camera, but it's actually quite a lot there. I like it. I hope she likes it. Like I said, I haven't gifted art before. Um, I don't know if I'll tell her I did it. I guess I should tell her, right? Just keep it. Don't take the secret too far. I'm sure she'll know it's me because I did I made like a wedding card for one of our friends once, and they were like, "Wait, I." One of the things that I just really need to pray about and stop doing is being late. So I was late, and thus because I was rushing, I didn't have time to create the card at home. So I created the card at the wedding. Like I literally brought out my watercolor paints, my urban sketching watercolor paints, and my watercolor paper, and I created a wedding card. And my friends saw it and they were like, "What? You're gonna paint?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, sure. Won't take long." And then like, 10 minutes later, or maybe like half an hour, 15 minutes, finished the card. And they're like, "Wait, what? You paint, blah blah blah." So she's seen me paint before, so I guess she would expect that if I give her a painting, it would be one that I have done, which I guess that would make sense. Mhm. Oh, I'm so glad. Maybe try pastels with watercolor for your future stream. Which bit are you saying what to? Pre-Raphaelite? Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I should probably tell her, be like, "Oh." I hope she like participates in the poll. That's the thing that's going to. But if not, how do I know which one to give? The one that I love the most? Painting at a wedding. Yeah, I did not during, like, not in the church. That would be disrespectful. But but um but at the reception, when like people were, dancing and stuff. I was like, yeah, no, it'll be quick. And then I think I actually painted 2 cards. Yeah, I painted 2 cards. I did one, the first one that was going to be for me to give to her. And then my friends were like, oh, we haven't got a card. Can you please paint us one? And I was like, sure. And then I painted another one. I'm like, how did you do it? It was like a really nice and simple design. And it was a hot day. So, the paint was drying nice and fast. So it all worked out. Oh, thank you so much. Maybe try your pastels with watercolor for a future stream. That is a great idea. Part of me wonders, and let me know how you feel with the live streams. Are you cool with me having no idea where it is going? And I ask that because I have no idea how that would turn out. So part of me is wondering, maybe what I'll do is like experiment with it in private and then do a live stream when I have a bit of a better grasp of it, or completely mess up on a live stream. I'm open to either one. Will she rip the paper? I know part of me is like, should I even do it on a live stream in case this rips again? Because it's a lot. Thank you, Melissa. I know everyone's like, oh, is she gonna do it? Is she gonna rip it again? Let's take it on board first. Let's look at it before we take it off so that we can appreciate it in case it's ripped. And can you see there's like gold here as well? And like gold on the leaves, but also gold on the petals and gold here in the center. So weird. Like I also love like this area here where it's like purple and blue. Like it's so funny the things that one ends up loving and falling for. Where did I put? Oh, I put it here. Moment of truth. Oh, do you think I should? I can't take a picture though because it's on my phone. Like we're streaming on my phone. That is true. Okay, cool. In which case, we will do that. Oil, pastel, and watercolor florals. I can't. Part of me was like, oh, should I add oil pastels to this? I can't. I've already fallen in love with this. The idea of just ruining it halfway through the stream is too much for me. Oh, no, sorry, not halfway through. Before you guys are like, wait, she said halfway. It's been 3 hours. 3 long hours. Yeah, in which case we could do it as a stream next time because I did want to mix them together. I also wanted to add pencils to it and see how that goes. Would you do that on 100% cotton watercolor paper? I feel like I should maybe try that on cellulose first, do a painting that I don't get overly attached to, and then go over it. Did you see, like, I've been trying to experiment more. Probably going to be on a video coming up, but yeah, did you see this? This was like me experimenting, like even doing the, the gold dry brush technique to me felt like a lot because I was like, oh, what if I hate it and I ruin these paintings that I really love? And then I was trying to be like, I've tried so many different things to like loosen up and to experiment. It's actually going to be one of my videos once I finish editing it. But yeah, then like went over it with like with black as well. Can you see those details? But I thought they looked so edgy and I really, really love it. And I'm so glad that I did this. But this was completely experimenting. This was me being like, okay, I'm not going to fall in love with this painting. I did, I do, I love it. But I was like, my aim is to experiment, pick one thing and experiment. And to me, going like this right here felt like madness. Taking like black ink, like roller ink, and going over this, I was like, if I hate it, I will have destroyed this entire painting. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just so cool. Like each quarter is so cool and it's one piece. Does that make sense? So it's like pinks and yeah. um Mixed media, yeah, or cellulose. Mm. I will try. I will do that. We'll do that together. I think it will be fun. Um, Thank you. I just won't be as attached. So basically, I think if I go into it and I know that I'm going to experiment, and then that's fine. If I'm like, say, for example, with this, we're like, yeah, let's add thing. No, I can't do it. But next time I can. I did another one. Hold on, this was the other one. I think this was the first one. And again, I was just like, I love it. I love it so much. And then I think this I did on a live stream with you guys, no? Did I do this on a live stream? Or maybe I didn't. No, actually, I didn't do it on a live stream. And then there's this one. I've been on a bit of a painting frenzy. This one is like, I think this one was one of the first ones that I did. And I don't know why, but I was like, I'm really going to push it. I'm going to make loose florals edgy. And this is the result. And it's one of my favorites. I'm like, this will make such a beautiful print. And my sister was like, because I have like space, and I was saying I wanted to make art for this flat. And she was like, why don't you paint bigger? And I was like, I wish this was bigger. So I might scan it and turn it into a print and have like a really big print of this so that I can have it somewhere. Oh, thank you so much. And thank you so much for your, shall I call it a tip, for your donation, Chloe. Chloe. I really, really appreciate it. Have I used ashes yet? No, I have not, but I will. I got a 10 by 14 inch block on sale. I think they're normally £45 here, and they were sale for £35. And then I also got a discount on top of that, so it came down to £32. So I will use that. Good night. We've crossed. I think we're crossing the the time. It's late for people in the US. Thank you so much for joining, Lulabelle. I really appreciate it. It's 10 p.m. Yeah, I can't believe it. Dark roast. It's late in Cali already. Oh, so what time is it here? It's 6 a.m. Hey, Jody. Welcome. I didn't know you were here. Yeah. I did buy those as well. I left them sealed. It was my first haul. I left it. I know. I can't believe it's 6 a.m. I thought it was like 4. Yeah, but you know what? I don't know why. I think in my head, what I wanted to use arches for was watercolor landscapes. I don't know why that's what So to me, I was like, oh, as soon as I start doing watercolor landscapes and I get good at them, then I can use the arches. I think it's because in my head, I thought that I would be doing like lots of layers and the arches would work better for that. That being said, it's been a long time, so maybe I should just open it. Do you think I'll tell a difference between like Arches and Saunders and Bao Hong? 5 p.m. prime time in Sydney. I can't believe it. Hey Susan. Welcome, Jodie. Yeah, no, it's I started this have you not used the Senelia? No, I've used the small Senelia, but not the big one. I don't know why. I don't want it to end. And it's so silly because the sister who bought it for me is not sentimental at all. Yeah, she's not sentimental. Not in a bad way. She's just not sentimental. So she's like, why wouldn't you just use it? And I'm like, because you bought it for me and it's so special and I need to be like good to use it and I don't want it to end. And she's like, just use it. So maybe what we should do is, because I keep thinking of like different series I want to do. And I was thinking of doing what was it? I was trying to work out the alliterations, but I can't remember it. But basically, like a day or a stream, or a video series where I use all the art supplies that I don't feel good enough to use yet. So the arches, the Selenium, are they the main things? I think they're the main things I haven't used yet. I think they're the two things I haven't used yet because Saunders I have used, Bao Hong I have used. Daniel Smith I use a lot, or I use quite a bit. Roman Schmoll I use a lot. So I think it's just those two. I'm looking at my bookshelf. The Fabriano I have used. Anyway, we'll see. Okay, yeah, Ekmion, use your down arches. It's not a collection item. Oh, use it same as any other. Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's because it's so much more expensive. But anyway, yes, I will use it and maybe I'll even use it later on today. How about that? Shall I do that? And then you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference between Saunders and Arches. You prefer Saunders since the paint sinks in more, allowing for more layers, which you prefer. If you do not like any layers, you would prefer Arches. The only thing about Arches is the they, they have their own art supplies in heaven. I like that. The only thing about Arches as well, I think, is the colors. But yeah, I will use it. Will I? Will I? I will. Oh, Sana Leon Arches today. Oh, oh, you drive such a hard bargain. I was thinking of using the Arches, but to unbox the Sana Leon, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm like, can I? It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I obviously have a problem. Can I? Hold on. I'm looking at it to see if, like, realistically. Oh, hold on. I thought it was in my shelf, but in fact, it's next to me. No, the using the arches. Whoops, dropped everything. Hold on. Using the arches, I think, will be less than of a challenge than using the Senelia. And I don't know why. I think it's the box. Do you think it's the box that does it for me? Why does this keep falling? What is going on? Okay, hopefully that stays. Hold on. If you want to. Yeah, this bad boy right here. This is the first professional set of watercolors that I bought, that my sister bought for me. She essentially gave me money to invest in me starting a YouTube channel and to support it. And with that money, I bought this stunning set. I think it's the wooden box that has me thinking I I can't, but I guess I should. I don't know. Literally. Yeah, I think maybe it is the box because the box looks so pristine. Even you know, it is wonderful. Maybe I should just do a video on it, like just use it. This is heavy. What did you put in the box then? It's so beautiful. I don't know why I'm literally here caressing my paints in front of you live. It feels like an OnlyFans account. But yeah, I think if they were in a, because this is a thing with my Daniel Smith that are more expensive than this, right? I, as in like, even though they're individual tubes, I put them in like a really cheap tin and I started using them almost straight or like quite a lot because I was taking them and traveling around with them. Um, but with this, mm, this stunning bad, but I don't even know what the colors look like. Yeah, no, that is true. That is very true. And she did tell me I was like, oh, but it's so beautiful. I can't use it. You gifted it to me. She was like, just use it. Like, it's not that deep. She's not sentimental at all. Um, but I guess I could use the paint, even if I finish the paints, it, I could keep the box. And that will anyway. Or I guess, I don't know. Take the leap. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that today. I don't even know what I would paint. Okay. I mean, the fact that I put it back in the sleeve when I first bought it set the mood, right? Gave everyone the impression. So, the things that you guys are challenging me to do, oil pastels and watercolors. I'm super excited to see how that works. Use arches and the Sennelier. That was my goal for last year, use all these supplies. Yes, do a video. Really, there's something about those wooden boxes. Sennelier have a smaller wooden box, and I was almost like, maybe I should buy that box. Like, it's so pretty, such a pretty box. But then I told myself I was just buying the box, not the paints. And so I didn't buy it. But yeah, maybe I'll do that today. If I wake up on time, this is my aim for the day, right? I need to finish editing the video of the brushes that I was using, the rosemary brushes. And I need to finish editing the video for Kofi, which is a flip through of a book that I have got my opinions on it. And then once I have done that, I will crack open the arches and the Sennelier, and I will do a painting with that. And then I will also at some point this is upside down. I will also at some point paint with oil pastels and watercolors and see what happens. Yeah. Oh, I love this painting. I'm really grateful that I tend to love my art. Like, apart from, especially after I created that piece that I didn't like, I was like, bruh, I am so grateful I don't go through this feeling every time I paint. Ooh, getting my signature on. There we go, signed it. So these are the two paintings that where's the other one? That we have done. Don't know. Now I'm wondering if I should have done one in a different color, just so that if she doesn't want something blue, she can pick that. Does that make sense? This will almost feel like spot the difference. Thank you so much. Pre-Raphaelite. You can see it. Yeah, I don't know if this will almost be like, oh, spot the difference, which one do you like? But so maybe I will do another one That's a slightly different color, not blue, basically. So a very different color. And then see if she likes that more, and then basically get her to pick her favorite. Maybe I'll do like 4 paintings. We will see. But thank you so much, Susan. Yeah, they do look like they belong together. So you can imagine me trying to separate them. It's like a diptych, triptych. Triptych is 3, diptych is 2. It's how I felt about, you know how I did 12 paintings? I'm like, they belong together, hence the calendar with those 12 paintings. And it's a whole series. Maybe I was thinking maybe I'll put the pink one in the poll as well, but I really don't want to give that away. Oh yeah, why not give both? That's a good point. Why give one when you can give both? That is true. That is true. I'll see. But I will let you guys go to, well, enjoy the rest of your day. I was gonna say go to sleep, but I don't think it's nighttime for anyone else. Can you see? Can you see? So my mom did my hair, and my mom also got me these earrings for. Sorry, my mom got me these earrings for Christmas. And I did my makeup. Gosh, I wish I could be like, yeah, just wake up like this. I just feel it's such a rare occasion for me to do makeup. You don't understand. I only do makeup to go out to parties. That's it. For the most part. Sometimes if I feel like it, I will just put on makeup. More so for like YouTube than anything else. But I don't put on makeup for work or all that stuff. So it just felt like it was necessary. But I really, really, really appreciate you guys being here. Oh, sorry, I'm shaking the table. I'm trying to get the phthalo blue off my table. I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, I'm going to sleep. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Miss Ebony. Thank you, Pre-Raphaelite. Thank you all. Thank you, Susan. I had such a good time, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend and that you enjoy the video that's coming up either later today or more likely than not now on Monday. We will see. But yeah, if I do, when I do actually use these supplies that we discussed, I'll make a video for it and I'll show you. Use olive soap to remove phthalo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's super helpful. Do you mean like I have lemon soap? I'll look for olive soap. Thank you. Good morning and good night. Exactly. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. I'll look out for that. That's super helpful because my table needs it. Like I've been using baking soda and vinegar, but it doesn't get rid of everything all the time. So yeah, no, I will. Thank you. And I'll show you the pieces again and I'll see you next time. Bye.